that I missed it, guys.
That's no big. Last session was a RP session. We were handling downtime.
Hey, there's Jay.
Specifically, hey Jay, right on schedule. Actually, we are literally just getting started.
Yo, I just woke up. Y'all got
It's okay.
Hey,
a sleepy boy.
Yeah.
And our favorite syrup guy will be here momentarily. So
get your EP. But again, just as a quick recap, last session was a RP session. We were dealing with downtime, and we were doing it kind of granularly per day. So essentially what I was having the player characters do was rolling checks for what they were doing for the day. So I'd ask at the beginning what he plans, and then I would supply, a check, and you guys would make checks for it for what you were doing, which included various ways to earn income, which was mostly this time around converted into essentially paying for your room and board. So essentially no one has to pay for their weekly cost of living this week because you've done work to pay for it. We've gone through 4 days of that. Here at the Cat's Eye, the party encountered several NPCs of note. If you are in Roll20 and you're looking at the board there, over here on the stage is Torque. Torque is one of my OCs, just to be clear, and is a sort of like legacy character of mine that I originally created for D&D 3.5 many years ago. And she has been recreated here now in Pathfinder 2nd Edition and is fucking whooping ass. So, cool.
Hopefully we all live to become legacy characters in the next session.
Yeah.
For the next campaign.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully everyone lives to be legacy characters. That we do another campaign in this setting at some point later on, and new characters will be able to hear about the exploits of these characters because it was all cool and shit.
Don't let him.
I'm excited. I'm excited to possibly be able to join in the next one y'all do.
I would very much enjoy to bring in more people. I will go ahead and say though, just so that we're clear, as we are sitting at 6 PCs right now, that is hovering right there on the limit of controllable. But having other people who can occasionally like cycle in, like say we have another situation where like say we have another situation where Citrus isn't available, but we have somebody else who is available, and they just pop in, for that particular session or whatever.
I'm perfectly fine with that. I can do that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's entirely fun. But either way, Torque, like I said, is a legacy character. Torque is in Pathfinder here, a bard, and Torque is available as a companion NPC that will travel with the party. And to clarify on how I am treating companion NPCs is that at least in this first time, Torque is automatically going to be there because you're handling a side quest that Torque is part of. But otherwise, when you guys are heading out on a quest or you're doing downtime or whatever, that Torque is essentially available for you guys to talk to and to ask her to use her abilities in order to aid you in, skill checks, spell casting, identifying items, that kind of like, sundry bits and whatnot. Torque is also a combat NPC, so she can help in combat. But again, because we're already dealing with a 6-member party, and then there's also the possibility of Brick being on the board and Mr. Servos being on the board and all that sort of stuff. That essentially what I'm going to do is that if you guys are in combat and Torque is with the party, Torque's not going to roll initiative or do anything unless you guys want Torque to throw in, at which point I will then bring her onto the board.
It's like calling in a Marvel assist.
Yeah, it's very much like calling in a Marvel assist, doing a Final Fantasy summons, or that kind of like thing. Nice. Cinematically speaking, Torque is there. She's in the background, and she's fighting some other dude who just isn't on the map. so she's always
Perfect.
technically doing stuff, but she doesn't actually show up on the map and actively do things unless you say, hey, can we bring in our companion NPC to help out. So if you feel like the party's on the ropes or anything, anybody can say like, hey, Torque, we need help, and then she can pop onto the map and help out. Besides Torque, though, there is technically the most important person in here is this orc over here. His name is a long string of complicated gruntle noises in Orcish, but he just tells everybody to call him Fridge. He's built like a fridge. He's nearly 7 feet tall, and he is like wider in the shoulders than most halflings are tall. Dude is built, and he
Like a
also
shit brick
like
house.
yeah, he is built like a shit brick house, and he dresses very nicely. Quite possibly, with the exception of the PCs, he is the best dressed person in this entire place, except when his wife, comes down stairs from the office and prances around, because she's essentially playing the whole like madam part kind of thing. Miss Kitty is not her actual name. Miss Kitty's just the name that everybody calls her by. She essentially handles all of the like lodging and staff management and all that sort of stuff, while Fridge handles all the other services, food, drinks, all that kind of thing. Beyond him and Miss Kitty, who own this establishment and handle everything, other important NPC that you guys met is this automaton guy over here. His name is Vandal, which is spelled with a 3 and a 1 at the end of it, so it's VAND31. Vandal.
He has to say elite. He's elite.
Yeah, so he is a combat automaton. His chassis and everything was built for combat, so he doesn't have nearly the sort of like emotive face that like Tim does, because Tim is technically a quote unquote servant among automaton, so therefore Tim's got a much more like human-like face. Not this guy. He's basically got a single big eye, very cyclopean, right up front. He has built into one of his arms a retractable blade, and he does carry, although it's hidden, but you guys have had plenty of time to have noticed. He also does carry a couple of extra blades that are hidden in his clothing, as well as at least one gun.
At least one.
Vandal, yeah, at least one. At least one gun. Vandal is also a pimp. He handles pimping services, of which the redhead that is sitting there next to him is his quote unquote like number one girl. Her name is Gwendy, and she is a elf. She's somewhere between the ages of 20 and 300. Don't know. She acts like a ditzy. She acts like a ditzy, sort of like a Valley Girl type character. But she hangs off of Vandal. She's very much like, if she's not like straight up in love with Vandal, she's really fucking milking him for something. But anyways, Vandal, besides pimping services, he is also supplying you guys with one of your side quests, which on day 5, which is where we're going to be starting in, you guys are going to be handling that first thing. Besides handing out a quest and pimping services, Vandal is also quite capable of selling you guys components or like ingredients or whatnot for alchemical items, as well as like consumables, like drugs and shit.
Sure.
He doesn't sell the drugs, to be honest. He sells all of the things that you need to make the drugs, as well as the instructions on how to make the drugs yourself. So he's skirting the law in like a lot of different ways, but like by like a hair's breadth.
And he
otherwise
have hair.
Yeah, otherwise though, he's kind of a sort of permanent residence at the place. Some other things that are notable is that during the downtime period, Callie did take a look out back on the back porch at midnight and met a small man that looks like a rhino with a glowing crystal horn. And he had her do some light crime. Mostly just forgery,
Very
but like
light.
he had a request and he paid for it, that sort of stuff. So that was a way that Callie could do some earning income through some light property crime. Either way, though, the Cat's Eye right now is essentially you guys' base of operations. You can come back here and continue to like stay at the rooms, which gives you a modicum of privacy and whatnot. You've got a couple of NPCs that you can handle through some items and goods and services, that sort of thing. Besides combat, Torque also offers up services where she can do Hero deck readings, which is like tarot cards, and she can also perform seances. Like she says that she could speak to spirits and the dead and all that sort of stuff. But in the 4 days that you guys have been here, and people have paid her for these services, what she's doing doesn't really look like fucking magic. It looks like her just sort of like talking out of her ass. So whether she actually speaks to spirits or that's just like a con job or whatever, unclear. But she claims that she can do it. She also claims that she can do it and lap dance at the same time. No one has taken her up on that yet.
I just might to see that, because that's something that's like a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah, no one's taken her up on that offer yet, but she did lay that out on the table. So these are the people who are here, and on the 5th day, we're starting early in the morning. There's only a few people here, and as you guys are like coming down and you get yourselves sat down at the table, Fridge, takes your orders and whatnot for breakfast, and he puts that back to the cook, who is still dressed like fucking Storm Shadow. He's like covered in like tight white ninja garb in the fucking back room. He never talks.
Back rooms.
That's the other thing too, is that the cook never speaks. But his name has been spoken, that his name is Extil. But
does he communicate in other ways?
Him and Fridge seem to have like a bond where like they can essentially do the dude man woe code with each other.
Yeah.
Like they use basically 3 different sounds and 2 depends on like context and tone to communicate everything. So yeah, that's how they talk. He has otherwise mostly stayed in the kitchen. You guys do know that in the early mornings, he cooks a bunch of extra food and he serves that food to homeless people behind the Cat's Eye. But otherwise, though, he takes your orders and whatnot and puts that in the back, and you guys are kind of left up front in the seats by yourselves while Torque is setting up for her like performance thing that she's going to be doing through the day. And as you guys come in and get sit down, Vandal comes up to the party, specifically over here to Tim. And he hands to Tim specifically a small slip of paper. On this small slip of paper are a couple of addresses. One of them is marked as an apothecary, and the other one is marked as a hostel.
Gotcha.
And then he tells you, he's like, so to give you some more context about what I wanted you to do. I have a friend who is like your friends, organic. He is suffering from a illness and is probably not long for this world. But I care for him and I wish for him to be in as much comfort as possible. So I would very much appreciate if you could go to the apothecary to gather some medication for him and then take it to him where he is convalescing. I would do this myself, but I have been banned from the apothecaries under threat of immediate arrest and imprisonment. So I can't quite do that.
Understood.
And while I am not banned from the hostel, I must admit that seeing my friend in his current condition renders me sort of emotionally weak in a way that I do not care to display, given my current, job and everything. But if you would do this for me, as I said, I would be very grateful, and I will see to it that you are compensated for it. Although, Tim, I did have sort of a personal question. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but what is your oldest memory or your first memory that you consciously have?
Oh man, I think Tim like zones out for a second to go back in the memory banks, and I think he kind of explains that his first memory was being activated for his first family. He was initially like a butler robot meant to like serve a family, and so his first memory was being activated on the first day of being given him.
That's interesting, Tim. Thank you for telling me that. I get to
Anytime.
meet relatively few other automatons. Many of my compatriots that were part of the same casting process as myself were severely damaged, if not outright destroyed, in the last wars. So it is rare that I get to come across a automaton of the servant class that did not see frontline combat. And I find it interesting to ask about those early memories because they are different and they show a sort of past for our people that is otherwise kind of lacking.
Yes.
But enough of that. If you head out now, you should be able to reach the apothecaries by the time that it opens. And when you do see my friend, please tell him that I wish him the best, and I will continue to foot the bill for his medication.
Understood.
So, I will give you guys the rundown and the addresses specifically on where you need to go. He returns back over to the table, and Gwendy just leads right back into the like casual, like pimp surveilling his kingdom kind of like persona.
The casual stance.
Yeah, like he just kicks back in the chair, puts his feet on the table. Like Fridge says, like, get your feet off the table, says it in a way like it's an automatic thing, not like he actually means it. But that leaves you guys. For what does the party want to do? Starting off, currently about 8 a.m. The weather is currently sunny, relatively warm, and you're going to need like 30 minutes or whatnot for like food to be prepared and served to you guys so you have breakfast. But otherwise, you've got like 30 minutes to wait on that. It's going to take you probably about 30 minutes or so to walk over to the apothecaries. So by the time you get there, it should be roughly 9 o'clock.
Gotcha. I think as we're waiting for the food to get in, I want to summon Brick ahead of time.
Okay.
So I can put the little collar on him that I bought.
All right. Summon forth Brick. Let me see if I can find his. One of the things that I have not yet done, I want to do, is I want to put down a NPC Brick so that you can actually like use him in combat as you want to. But let's see here. Where did I put Brick? He's in here somewhere. Let's see. Is he in the NPC one or is he in the monster one? Oh, that's nice. I didn't see that guy. I had to remember that he's hiding in that specific folder. Okay. Well, to make it long story short, you pull out Brick and you put the collar on him. So your obsidian construct guard dog now has his collar on. God damn, where did I put that? I don't see the exact. We're just going to use this one instead. Here is.
I'm gonna name it Brick. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, I'll rename. Get him chunked up for the NPC use. But otherwise, yeah, you pull out Brick. Something though that is worth noting with Brick is that Brick has a time frame that he can be active and then cool down. So let's look
6 hours, and then I think it's day.
I'll
have to double check though.
Wait, no, he's not obsidian. He's onyx.
That's all.
Onyx, dude.
I wonder. I know you can't technically in game mechanics, but I wonder if there's any way I could upgrade Brick.
We could probably try something like that. We can figure about that later on once you are, since he is an item, he's a magical item, an item level of 2. Once you start getting up to past level 5, then if you still wanted to continue to use Brick, then we could see about some way of upgrading him, because he is based off of the guard dog animal, other than the fact that he's a construct. So we could just take the guard dog and then upgrade the guard dog so that that's Brick's new stats.
Make him armor, make him bigger. We go ride him.
Yeah, and that is another thing. You can quite literally
you want to ride him.
Barding. He's not quite big enough for you to ride. But you can get him barding. That would be something you could do.
Ooh, if I did that, I could let one of the smaller folk ride on the back of him. I could have Laria.
All right, now, okay. For the purposes of this particular thing where you're putting on the collar on Brick. Hey, Pineapple.
You.
Okay, so you put the collar on Brick, but one thing that is very much notable here is Brick, as an Onyx dog, can only be activated once per week, and it's been less than a week since you were actually in the dungeon. It's been literally 5 days.
Is it? I thought it was if he dies, he can't come back for a week.
No, he can only be activated once per week, and then once he is activated, he remains activated for up to 6 hours.
It takes a week to recharge him.
Yeah, he's got a cooldown period.
No.
So that could also be another thing that we might upgrade later on, is giving him more activations. Yeah, like we could cut down his cooldown. So that might be something else that we do to upgrade Brick once you're high enough level to actually upgrade him. There we go.
Well, I guess I'll just hold on to my collar then, since you can't.
Well, I'm going to say that for the purposes of just this one here to do anything, you can call him out for just a moment, put the collar on him. He's like, Bork, and then he turns back into his little figurine form.
Nice.
There's a lot of people in the.
Yeah, I filled up the tavern with just some other NPCs who are here getting breakfast and drinks and whatnot. Before you joined Syrup, Vandal, the robot pimp, he came over and sort of uncharacteristically mentioned to or told you guys about his particular side quest, gave y'all some addresses for where to go, gave you a reason why he can't do it himself. Essentially, he's banned from the apothecary on, threat of imprisonment, and visiting his friend who is, according to him, very sickly and not long for this world, causes him like pretty intense emotional distress. And it's just not cool for a pimp to be like crying. So
True.
So that's why he's asking you guys to listen, is going to compensate you.
Everyone.
But that's really the only other thing that's done. So about 9 p.m., which would give you guys time to eat breakfast. Everybody's done their daily preparations, which is an important thing that we will need to touch on in a later session. But that's just that's a thing that everybody goes through in the mornings. It's daily preparations. It's when a lot of shit comes back, like when it recharges up, charges specifically when you do your daily preparations. But it's mostly important. It's mostly important. But either way, Brick shows up for just a moment so you can clip the collar on him, and then he's like, "Bork," and then he goes back into his fucking dog form, or his little figurine form. So we don't really need a map for this particular side quest. This can be handled just simply theater of mind.
Theater of the mind.
So we're all theater kids at heart here. So I know that this obviously they're in Roll20, but I did add to the Discord server the updated map of the city that's a little bit higher res than previous ones.
Okay.
So that you guys can give a relative, see the relative location of where the Cat's Eye is versus where the apothecary, which is the Goodfinger Apothecary, which is literally located down the street from where the heist happened.
Okay.
So like 5 days ago when y'all did the heist, it's that location, and then the apothecary that you're going to is right down the fucking road. Which is notable, as you guys are, traveling over there, you can just look down the road and see that building, and that building is completely roped off. Like there's caution tape and whatnot, and signs up around the building that says, "Do not enter, building unsafe, gas leak."
Oops.
Gas leak, quote unquote.
Yeah, well, it's not in quotes on the signs. And there are multiple people wearing ye olde hazmat suits that are in and around the building.
Like ye old plague doctor.
Yeah, like ye old plague doctors, essentially, that are moving around the building, doing inspections and cleaning and, all that sort of stuff. It is in the broadsheets in the newspapers, also in the morning as you guys are going along, that there was a gas leak in this building, and several workers who were employees of Mr. Herbert Blake unfortunately passed away due to gas seeping in from a part of an older wall that had collapsed, and the gas had come in from the sewage system, and unfortunately they all passed away. They all, according to the paper, they all passed out, like they went unconscious, and then they just died in their sleep and suffocated in the gas.
Like carbon monoxide poisoning?
Died of carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah, so it's just a report that they all died of carbon monoxide poisoning. I mean, technically it was all natural deaths. You would have all died naturally from the stuff that was happening. One other thing that you do see as you guys are like coming up to the apothecary is you see like a couple of the workers coming out of the building that are wearing, again, the heavy protective suits and whatnot, and they have a cage on wheels, and in the cage there are several insects that are centipedes. Like long, snaky bodies that are segmented with lots and lots and lots of legs. These centipedes are easily 7 or 8 feet long and like a foot wide. And they've got them shoved into a crate. They've got them shoved into like a large cage on wheels, and they're like rolling them out of the building as you're coming up.
I'm sorry. What? Was this like something that happened? Like these centipedes? Like, have we seen them before?
No, actually, you guys avoided the encounter when you were down there. Y'all just never went into the area where the centipedes were.
Okay.
Callie has seen a little bit of it.
Callie gets saw tracks, and Jamal did smell something.
I was saying, can I do we know what kind of centipedes these are? Like, what's their biology and like their MO?
You can make a recall knowledge check for them.
Okay.
Specifically, I believe it's nature, but let me make sure. Let's see here. These are giant centipedes, as mentioned by the fact that they are friggin' 8 feet long and like a foot wide.
Yeah.
Okay, so giant centipedes. You can recall information using nature.
Nature. Okay.
You don't need to be trained or anything like that. Or... If you want to. Anybody who wants to make a nature check can make a nature check.
Oh, that's a nat 1. Or a 5 plus 1.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I rolled a 5. Callie.
I'm not even trained in nature.
That almost seems like appropriate.
I mean, she's probably seen it before, which is why she said I ain't fucking with it.
Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody who makes a nature check above a 15 knows that these are animals. They're natural. Obviously, they're quite fucking big, but they are otherwise quote unquote natural animals. They are not especially tough. Like if you were thinking of if I got into a fight with a centipede that's 8 feet long and a foot wide, could I take it? The answer is actually probably yes. They're not that tough, but they are faster than a person on foot. They can run you down, quite literally. They're not as fast as a horse, though. Notable. Not as fast as a horse.
Oh, that's... Woof.
They are...
If they can run down a person, I'm losing it.
Venomous. They are venomous.
I would like to purchase a flamethrower.
Yeah, they are venomous. They're faster than you are on your own feet. They can really run down Callie. Callie's,
slow as shit.
Slow as shit. But yeah, and their poison is fucking deadly. Just to let you know, in 30 seconds of getting bit by one of these things, you're going to take, assuming let's just assume you fail all your, you take a d6 of poison damage, then you take a d8 of poison damage and become flat-footed, and then you take a d12 of poison damage.
Oh, you're just dead,
remain flat-footed and become clumsy 1, all at the same fucking time.
So you just die. That's what I'm hearing.
So this all happens at once. You take a d6, a d8, then a d12
in 30 seconds.
Over the course of 30 seconds, it takes at least 3 rounds.
Okay, so at least 3 rounds
to the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it takes at least 3 rounds.
I have a really stupid question. Can I go over to one of them and collect some of that venom?
The answer is no.
Damn. All right.
Hey, you just want to...
You cannot collect centipede venom from live centipedes that are currently in a cage.
Yeah, I'd imagine it'd be pretty suspicious if you walked up to these
I'm
hazmat
a doctor.
guys.
I am trained in this.
I'm a doctor.
Just pretending like I'm a veterinarian or some shit.
I'm a doctor. Let me through.
I'm a doctor. Let me through, sir. These are animals.
But yeah, giant centipedes, bad things. The other thing that also really makes is that even as deadly as their poison is, and the fact that they're so fucking fast, even if you just ignore that part, as far as the game is concerned, these things are actually extremely low level monsters. So you guys can get swarmed by them, which
great.
makes it even worse. Yeah, like you can get fucking swarmed by these things, and it makes it worse. The other way is that they act otherwise like regular, quote unquote, like regular centipedes. And if one of them downs prey, they all converge on the same prey.
No.
So what you're saying is we can sacrifice one of us to save the rest of the party.
No, it'll be you.
You could. You don't have to outrun them. You just have to. You totally can do that. The other thing is, it is also a well-known tactic, and y'all's recall knowledge information would also let you know this, that the centipedes are carnivorous, and they are mostly ambush predators. So if you just throw a fucking chicken wing over at them, they will pounce on the chicken wing and eat it before. So they can be easily distracted or otherwise, dealt with, assuming that you were planning on running into fucking giant centipedes.
Again.
Or not.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but they can otherwise be distracted through just like tossing some food, and their preferred food is meat. They also do prefer it raw. So if you, or anything that's made out of meat, technically cooked, then you can just toss that, and they will go after it. Yeah, you are meat.
I'm not.
Tim is not, though. Yeah, Tim is not. They would ignore Tim.
They probably would ignore me too.
What about the fungus?
I mean, yeah. Actually, thinking about it, they'd ignore half of the party. Actually, only half of the party would have to be concerned about that. So funny as all of that is, though, you guys see all of that as you're, rolling up down the street here. No one's paying attention to you specifically as you come up to the apothecary. This is the Goodfinger Apothecary. It is run by a elder whose name is Granny Goodfinger. So Granny Goodfinger is inside the apothecary, and when you guys show up, you can see that Granny is, from just the look on her face, is not in a good mood. And she sees you guys come up, and she, y'all step inside, and then she just immediately script.
Oh,
come on.
Hello, you cut out there for a second.
Let me see your script. I ain't got all day.
Script?
What is that like?
For medicines, your script for medicine, right?
Yes, she's asking for the prescription.
She's an apothecary, dude. Did you just seriously ask why is the apothecary asking for your prescription?
The apothecary.
No, I'm saying, why is Johnny doing those sound effects?
It's my entrance sound effect. I'm sorry.
I have that muted.
The soundboard. Right.
Yeah, you might want to mute the soundboard. And also, just so that we're clear here, the apothecary is a pharmacist. Okay. So if you're unfamiliar with the term, that's what apothecary means, is that they are a pharmacist. They are the ones who make medications. They this would be a place that you would go to if you were looking to buy like legal drugs. If you need medication,
one of my OCs has an apothecary.
If you needed like toxins,
Like
or if you needed
stuff,
like antitoxins, if you needed a inoculation against a specific sort of disease, that sort of stuff. This is the person that you would go to for that. But yeah, she calls for a script. She looks kind of like just generally pissed off at the universe. And
Tim will walk. Oh, go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is that we're entering into a social encounter. So this is an encounter, when you have a fight, except that you're not actually pulling out swords and beating up an old lady, unless you pull out swords and beat up an old lady.
Shut up, Wizard Renegade in the background sharpening his side. Huh?
Did I hear nuclear bombs legalized?
Legalized nuclear bombs.
So the way that this works, as we are now into this social encounter, Granny has a starting attitude of unfriendly. Okay? To get Granny to give you the medication that you need, have the script for that was, the piece of paper that fucking Vandal gave to Tim. In order to actually for her to give you the medication, you need to get her attitude up to friendly. So she starts at unfriendly, and you're going to have to basically put her through the stage to get up to friendly so that she will then grant your request. So we're doing technically 2 activities here. The first one is you guys need to make an impression in order to improve her attitude, and then make a request in order for her to actually give you the medication. If you make the request before she hits friendly, then it counts as a ridiculous request.
Okay.
Now anybody can do the make a impression activity. We could even have everybody. Specifically, it is a diplomacy check. You do not need to be trained in diplomacy, but obviously, if you've got a better chance. And this is going to require multiple checks in order to move her along from unfriendly to friendly.
I have a +5 to
I
diplomacy.
guess we all have to do it, right?
Well, that's the question. Is that do you guys want to just see who's got the highest bonus and let them make the check, or does everybody just want to shoot for it and see what the fuck happens?
Fucking we go.
Fucking we
Let's
both.
go. Almost trade.
All right. Well, we got an 18 on the board. We got a 12 on the board. We got a 14, 17. All right. See, most of y'all are reasonably. Most of y'all are reasonably good at this.
Is your character.
Yeah, it's
on your
the
character sheet
skills.
On the first tab, skills, you're looking for diplomacy.
Oh shit!
What did I just
That's
say?
awful.
Okay.
It makes sense for Jamal because again, he not much of a social person.
What the
He doesn't really talk.
Yeah, I mean,
he comes in, he
okay.
starts gnawing on the furniture or something.
All right, so if we look at the party's results here, we've got 1 success, 1 failure, 2 failures, 2 successes, 3 successes, 3 failures. So you guys fucking average out.
Which should make her neutral.
Well, no, you average out, which doesn't move the fucking needle. So she's eyeing you guys, and y'all are just kind of in the fucking pharmacy, and she takes the script. I'm going to assume, Tim, that you do actually script so she knows what medicine she's trying to fill. So she takes.
Hold on, I hit her with this real quick. It's like, I'm just here to pick up a prescription, but I just wanted to say, this is a beautiful shop that you have.
Make another diplomacy check, Tim.
Come on, baby. Come on, give me a good one.
You can do it.
Yes.
Hey, it's decent.
Yeah, okay. That's very good. Just so you guys know, we're aiming for a D. So above 15.
A D16, you said?
We're aiming for a DC of 15. So if your check is is 15 or higher, you pass. If it's less than 15, you fail.
Oh, okay. So if it's the same, it hits. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. You got to make it to break it. Okay, so Tim, you managed to get a success on there. She looks down at the script, reads it real quick, looks up back at you, kind of hits you with the raised eyebrow. Well, at least you're polite.
Of course.
You're not related to that other automaton, are you? and she hits you with the squint, and she's like, he broke some stuff last time he was here. I told him if he came back, I'd have him arrested.
Yeah, Tim makes the face of excuse me, did you just assume all robots are related? But then goes, no, man, I'm not here to work for that violent robot. I'm a servant. I'm here to acquire my master's medicine.
All right, Tim, since you're the one doing the talking, make another diplomacy check.
Oh no. Come on.
Well,
This was a mistake.
Oh, yeah, it definitely was a mistake.
I have a plus
Okay.
5 to diplomacy. That's the
Okay.
highest.
You've succeeded one time, so her state has moved from unfriendly to now she's basically neutral.
Cool.
But you have not moved her to friendly. So she, kind of like takes that in. She again sort of like raises her eyebrow, and she reaches behind her where she's got like the shelves of different bottles of medication and whatnot. And she reaches behind her and she pulls down a brown bottle with like a black, rubber stopper in it. And then she pulls out some stuff from behind her desk and whatnot. And you can see that there's fluid inside of this bottle. And then she takes out some syringes and she starts filling up the syringes from the fluid in the bottle. And she looks back at Tim and she's like, "Your master, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're saying that this fellow," and she like looks back at the script and she's like, "Greff, this fellow Greff is your master? Is that what you're telling me?"
Yes, ma'am.
Look, I know I'm an old woman. I know that my eyesight isn't as good as it used to be, and I know that I might be set in my ways, but I know Greff enough to know that he doesn't have the money to acquire the services of a automaton as well articulated as yourself. So, what's the truth here?
Oh, no. I apologize. It may have sounded like I'm purchased. I am working with a group, and I kind of turn towards the people behind me, specifically kind of gesturing a little bit towards Laria. It's like, I work with a group that travels, and we attempt to help those that we
I've come
find
to
in
lurk
need.
while an
And
angry
so
pickle keeps
we heard
spewing
about
dragon
Griff,
breath at me.
and so I figured the least that we could do
Hi,
for a man in the
Hernopolis.
state
It is
was
so lovely to see
come
you.
and get his medicine.
And I don't know why there's an angry pickle spewing dragon breath at you, but
Again, she kind of looks back out at the group, and I'm going to ask another.
it is
Don't
so
fuck it
lovely
up.
to see you, hon. Thank you for 10 months. It's so
Oh my
amazing.
God.
Is there
We're so
anything I
close
can
to a year
do?
together.
Oh wait, I have a hero point. I have 2.
Yeah, you can.
That's right.
Hero points do allow you
But
to
it's
re-roll.
great to see you, and I hope
better-
you enjoy your
Alright.
other con. We're
You
playing
wish to use one.
the Halfus Campaign.
I'm gonna roll. Do I have to choose before I roll,
We're
or
trying to get some.
No, you can choose after.
We're trying to get some medicine from
I'm
the
gonna roll.
pharmacy, but there's a grumpy old lady.
diplomacy?
All right,
Hey,
that's a
don't
pass.
use it.
Hey, there you go.
That-
There you go.
That's a pass.
If I roll a hero point, just to see, I want to see if I can get a better result. But if I roll a hero point, do I have to take that one?
If you use your hero and you re-roll and you get higher, then you get the higher result. If you roll lower, then you take that 16, which is still a pass.
It's advantage.
All right.
Yeah, it's like advantage in fifth edition.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll one more time to see if I can make this really work out.
Okay, go for it. Fish for a crit. That's going to be a
Nope, taking
no.
the 16. Taking the 16.
All right. Remove 1 hero point from your character sheet.
I sure did.
Damn.
You did it. And
Okay.
Swing and a miss.
So, either way, though, as you kind of explain the situation to her, that you are part of a traveling group, that you heard about Greff's plight, and you're trying to see if you can do something for this guy. She accepts this, and she fills up 3 syringes with the fluid that is in that little jar. She puts the jar back up. She takes the syringes. She puts little caps on the needles and whatnot. She, puts them into like a heavy parchment wrapping paper, essentially, and she wraps them up and she hands you the medication. So you have acquired the medication that Gref needs. And she says to you, so that I don't get confused later, what is your name again?
Now I'm out of character thinking if I should give her my real name.
I mean, you totally can't lie. She's just asking for your name.
Nah, what's the worst that could happen? My name is Tim.
Well, Tim.
I mean, if something bad happens, you could always just ask the 8-ball.
Yeah, that is the other thing, and I'll talk to the. But she says, "Well, Tim, I hope that this will ease things for Gref. But that said, should you come across a one-eyed, gangly-looking automaton with one of those, and she makes like a motion at like one of her arms, like she's indicating like retractable blade thing that he has.
Blade, yes.
She's like, if you come across one of those guys, and he's wearing a lot of purple, don't talk to him. He's kind of an asshole.
I can tell.
But she otherwise gives you the medication. You've made the appropriate checks and the request for everything. So you've got the meds. So now you can actually move on to the second stage of this social encounter, which is you guys going over to the hostel, meeting with Gref, and then providing providing care. So
I just wanted to real quick, since we're at just very quickly at the apostle, is there like a antitoxin for centipede venom that she sells?
I believe probably. Give me a second.
Perfect.
Let's go.
I just have a weird feeling.
A sneaking
We're gonna a sneaking should I say a crawling suspicion that we might be interacting with them again.
Possibly.
I have a question. Can I ask her if she has the ingredients for napalm?
Tim is going to push. Tim is going to push the child.
Actually, she well, to answer Callie's question first. First of all, she really ratchets up the eyebrow when Callie hey, do you have the ingredients for self-igniting flammable chemical substances? She ratchets up an eyebrow real hard, and then she's like, "Are you paying for it?"
Shadow Wizard Renegade pats her on the head. Kids say the darndest things,
I'm like, I can just see Jamal just outside the store, just leaning back and just surveying the area, and he hears that, and he just like,
oh boy. Well, to further answer the question, yes, she actually does have the supplies for you to make she does have those.
Got money then.
And if you are willing to pay for them,
yes.
to you, so long as, and she specifically looks at Shadow Wizard Running Gang, so specifically so long as your guardian ? Is willing to sign off on it.
You gotta get the parent signature first to buy napalm.
God.
Okay, so then she will sell you the ingredients to make. She has enough on hand for you to make up to 5 doses of alchemist fire, and I will get to that in a second. As far as the question about the anti. She does. She has anti-venom. She has actually, she has a universal anti-venom, so it doesn't have to be specific to centipede poison. It works against all, but she has anti-venom. If you would like to purchase a thing of anti-venom, it's 6 gold pieces. It ain't cheap.
Oh yeah. How much money do I have? I might not actually have any money left. Oh no, I got plenty. I got 24. I guess I'll buy 2. So I'll be
Okay.
down to 12.
She currently has her current stock of currently has 5 vials of antivenom. So you buy 2 antivenom, so that's going to be 12 gold.
All right, I got the antivenom.
All right, that's your antivenom there, and then for the fucking alchemist fire.
Game Master question.
Yes.
What is the currency? Well, if I'm looking at it right?
Gold.
Gold.
Well, I'm talking about like exactly what I should look at.
Okay, if you are on your character sheet, you should go over to your inventory, and then on your inventory, I already for Jamal. Like on your character sheet right now, you'll see that you've got 32 gold pieces, you got 48 silver, and you got 50 copper. The conversion rate for this, just so that we're all clear, is it takes 10 silver to equal 1 copper. It takes, to equal 1 gold, and it takes 10 copper to equal 1 silver. So therefore, 100 copper to equal 1 gold.
Yeah, they all convert in tens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the conversion rate.
Yeah, and you can get PP if you give 10 gold, and they will give you a PP.
Don't worry, I already got a PP.
And with Tim, it's entirely possible it's extra. But anyways, yeah, she does have like I said, she's got the fire for the alchemist fire. The alchemist fire, this counts as alchemist fire lesser, and each dose is 3 gold.
Each dose, so it's 15.
So 15 gold for her current supply.
All right. I am at 4 gold.
Okay.
I just add, it's 5 bottles of lesser alchemist fire.
Yeah, you will need to brew it because she doesn't actually sell the alchemist fire. She sells all the stuff for it.
Yes.
So you will need to do the craft checks.
For all of them.
But technically, you can put that into your stuff that is inside of Mr. Servos, and just basically turn the brew on, check for it to like start brewing.
I will do that.
So essentially, an easy bake oven.
Yeah, like an easy bake oven. So if you want to have that start baking up, then I'm going to craft check from Callie.
All right.
Oh, me too, Dad.
All right. So again, it's just a DC 16, so you're passed on that. So Mr. Servos is currently in percolate mode, and it is brewing up napalm.
For the percolator.
He is brewing up napalm. And so that we're clear, alchemy completed. It does a D8 of fire damage. It also does persistent fire damage 1, and it also does 1 splash damage. So if you throw it at a space, it hits that space, and then it hits every other adjacent space.
All right.
It is a splash grenade.
It's just an incendiary grenade.
Yes, it is an incendiary grenade. And it catches fire, like it's basically a gel. And as soon as it hits oxygen, it catches on fire and it burns.
It's icy hot
very
without
quickly.
the icy.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight up.
Also, really quick, GM, and this is completely off topic. Can Tim get a tattoo?
Tim can get an embossing, which is basically the same thing. You would just have to have somebody who knows.
I know.
Cool.
I know. I asked a really dumb question of asking for alchemist fire and napalm. But does she sell? Like formulas as well? Does she also sell formulas, or just...
Yes, she does sell formulas for.
Well,
She specifically sells alchemical formulas.
Does she sell any formulas for antidotes?
Antidote. Let me check that out.
I like how we're like, GM's like, all right, on to the next encounter, but we're like, hold on, this apothecary.
No, this is good because the apothecary is a place for you to buy this shit. That part of the reason why this is part of this encounter. So this is literally what we were intending.
I can imagine Ellie walking out
gunfire.
of this apothecary with like her arms full of just random assorted bottles.
Okay. She can sell you the formula for lesser antidote.
Lesser antidote. Okay. How much is that?
It's a gold for the for the formula.
Can I give her 10 silver for it?
Yes.
All right, I'll do it.
She will accept 10 silver.
10 silver.
Here, we'll take 10 silver.
So it's
Tim should get a
this the formula book. It's lesser antidote.
Yeah, lesser antidote.
Lesser.
It's funny how some people say antidote, and then some people say antidote.
It's antidote. That's how it is spelled.
It is.
It's antidote.
I'm saying you guys are correct. I am incorrect.
She's selling the other chemical formulas.
Yeah, she's got other stuff. Let's see here.
I won't spend too long. I'm just getting useful things.
Useful things.
Okay.
Only the most useful things.
All right.
I mean,
antidote is very useful.
Tim has turned to walk out the door holding the prescription and just stops when he's outside because there's nobody following him. He turns around and Callie is at the front with her arm up over the thing pointing at, let me get that, let me get that. Can I get one of those? I need a few of those. Can I get that? It's like...
Jamal
okay.
Looking at inside.
All right, so she also does, as far as like other important like alchemical stuff for you to pick up, she does sell anti-plague.
All right, I will take anti-plague.
Oh my god, you literally are doing exactly what he's talking about.
Good. Tim.
So each one of these is a gold for the formula.
All right, I'm down to 37 silver. I'm leaving the gold for the room. Nice.
Let's see here. What does this shit do?
So what's it called?
Okay, so this one other thing that he has that I think would be useful is she has, and again, she needs like for all of these things, she needs an additional sign off with your like legal guardian for each one of these items. But she also has another formula for an item that's called Bravo Brew.
Bravo Brew.
Bravo Brew gives you a bonus on will saves against fear.
Hell yeah, we're taking that.
Yeah, it's will saves against fear effects.
And another 10 silver pieces.
Hey, thank you, fucking lady. Thank you.
He's like, let me just clear out my entire friggin' thing.
People can't pickpocket me if I got no money on.
You can't rob me if I'm
So
already
you
broke.
can't get pickpocketed of money, but you turn around and you see a kobold running away with your like alchemist fire stuff.
Well, joke's on him, cause he's dead.
I will kill him.
All right. So what? So it's called anti-plague. Is that what I add as well?
Yeah, anti-plague and Bravo Brew.
Anti-plague.
It's called Bravo Brew. What does it do again?
Bravo Brew.
Will saves, I think, right?
Yeah, Bravo Brew.
Bravo.
When you drink it, for the next hour after you drink the Bravo Brew, It gives you a item bonus to will saves against fear and fear effects.
Fear and fear effects.
Yeah.
I think I might get that as well.
So yeah, it gives you a
I'm not buying the brew. I'm buying the recipe for.
Callie's buying the recipe. If you want to buy the brew, she does have the brew. If you want to buy it, it is kind of expensive though. It is 7 gold a pop.
And how much is the recipe?
The recipe is a.
I mean, you don't really need to buy it if I already have it. I can just.
Yeah, but Callie now that Callie has it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could buy the materials for it and then I craft it for you.
That is the other thing. You could buy the ingredients because Callie's got the recipe, but doesn't actually have all of the stuff to make it.
What if I can find a recipe to build exploding bullets, give it to Callie, and then give Callie all the stuff with it? We can just start loading explosive bullets.
Technically speaking, yes. That's literally what the inventor does is make items.
I'm now gonna look for formulas for that.
So, if you want to buy the stuff so that Callie can actually make some of the brew, to do that you're going to need to purchase items from the apothecary, and she can provide you with the ingredients to make up to 3 doses, and that would cost 3 gold.
Yeah, I could do that. And I guess I just put the ingredients down in the stowed items.
Yeah, in stowed items, just put Bravo Brew ingredient.
Okay.
And they are lightweight, so they don't really count against your load. Because mostly it's like a lot of yeast and some like. And it's like 11 like secret herbs and spices, that.
And how much bulk?
The bulk is light. It's an L.
Yeah.
L weight, dude.
But that's most of the good common stuff that she's got right now. You can come back later for higher level stuff. I mentioned this. I did mention this during the last session.
3 gold pieces, you said?
Yes, 3 gold pieces. But when you guys are buying formula, or if you are buying items here, Harham has a item level limit of 3. So you guys can purchase stuff up to 3 in town. They have got item level 0, 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, I also have a question for the GM that's unrelated as well.
Okay.
This is for just future purposes. So when my Oracle levels up and she becomes extremely lightweight, is it possible that she can get some sort of leg weights to keep her on the ground?
I mean, technically, yeah, you could personal anchor, that you attach yourself to so you don't get fucking blown away, as that is actually.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah, if her curse gets bad enough, she can literally get picked up by the wind and just blown away like a fucking paper bag.
That's unfortunate.
I heard that reference, Fuzzy.
So, before does anybody want to buy the ingredients for fireworks while we're here? Since you guys are at a shop. Since you are at a shop,
you know what? I'm actually gonna play the Wii Shop channel music in a minute.
So since you are at a place that sells alchemical goods,
might as well take the chance.
Do you guys want to buy any
fireworks?
I just would like. Can I just get some
fireworks?
I was actually curious if there is
I just would like some gunpowder.
I know this is an apothecary. Just curious if there are any poisons.
She does sell poisons, but she has a very limited controlled substance here in town.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let me bring up what poison she's got.
I'm surprised she had napalm.
She didn't have
She didn't have
napalm. She had the stuff
napalm,
to
she had-
make napalm.
Yeah, she had the stuff to make.
There's a
That's same
big
difference.
difference. There's a big difference.
Yeah, there's a large chunk of space in between that. As it requires both, the ability to make it and, because you got to have the actual equipment, and you also have to have the knowledge. She just has
which
the
I got
stuff.
both of, so
Yeah,
we
which
good.
Callie specifically has both. Let me see here. I'm trying to find the okay, so I need items, poisons. Let's bring up.
It's good to know that there's an item level of 3, like max here, because that allows me to find the specific bullets.
Okay, and then I want to do
now
this.
that we're
Okay,
on it,
so let's see here.
Take your time.
At this point, this is picking Jamal's.
Yeah, this is the shopping episode.
Yeah, we're
Yesterday was a shopping
continuing.
episode.
We're
You
continuing
should have
with
been here, you should have been here
with
last
shopping.
time when I spent a full hour buying like 26 recipes.
Okay, let's see.
I went out shopping to buy 3 things. I took Callie with me, and she literally dragged him across the entire stores. Just all of them. Actually, no, just one.
Hey man, at least I know how to. Hey man, at least I know how to make fucking acid napalm now.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
amazing.
So some so first poison on the list here that she could sell you is she's got a poison called Quat. Quat. Quat.
Fantastic name.
Quat is a ingested poison. Basically, you have to eat it in order for it to affect you. So that may not be the kind of poison that you're looking for. But she does have that. It is used as recreational drug in certain parts of the world. But she's got Quat. She's got arsenic, just straight up arsenic.
Wow.
Arsenic again is a thing that you feed people, and it makes people sick. It has a pretty quick onset time, about 10 minutes, and you cannot reduce the sickness effect until you have progressed through the entire thing. So it's entirely possible for somebody to just be absolutely fucking messed up with it. But she does have arsenic. She does have giant centipede venom. Not from the ones obviously that were collected down the street, but she does have giant centipede venom. That is that is a injury poison, so that would be one that you can add to your daggers or whatever. If you want that, it is 4 gold pieces per dose.
Okay.
Let's see what else we've got on here. That's another drug.
Yeah, I'm not expecting something super hardcore, like flesh-eating poison or nothing like that. Just
like arsenic.
I mean, arsenic is arsenic's. Oh, she's got one that's listed as frog poison.
Okay.
It is another injury type. That one is 3 gold.
Okay, so it's a little cheaper.
Yeah, and she's got so that we're clear,
You cut off there.
So she's got 5 doses of each of these.
Okay, I'll take 2 of those frog poisons off of your hands.
Alrighty. You seem like an adult. She is passing you the poison vials and whatnot. She's like, now don't be stupid with you're using these. I'm pretty sure that you understand that this is poisonous stuff. Do not put it on a blade and then before you use it.
Oh yes, of course.
Of course.
She lied naturally as she breathed.
Meanwhile, Callie's making napalm in her back.
You kind of cut off there a bit, but he's like, don't put it on a blade, and then what do you say?
Don't put it on your blade and then lick the blade as an intimidation tactic.
Oh yeah, I remember that video.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah. No, sorry, you just kind of cut off there.
Yeah, she just adds on like, don't do that. The most expensive thing that she has for poisons right now is she has some snake venom, which is again an injury poison. It is 6 gold pieces per dose, and this stuff. Let's see what it does here. This stuff is just straight damage. It doesn't do any other sort of like effects or anything like that. It's just hard damage.
It just hurt.
I think I'll leave it there. Just take these 2 vials with me.
Real quick.
Okay.
GM, can an inventor make gadgets?
Yes, that's literally their whole shtick.
Yes,
You can make blaster boots.
Man is thinking right now.
Tim is gonna fly.
Yeah, so that everyone is clear here. That is kind of the crux of Callie's class as an inventor, is that Callie can make items of pretty much any caliber. The only thing that Callie can't make is just like straight up magical stuff. But Callie can make all of the physical parts of the magical item. Callie would just need somebody who can supply the actual magic to do
and
that.
we already got that person.
And you've got 2 people already in the party who have magical capabilities. If you've got Torque around, you've also got her capabilities as well, magically, to apply on that. So, Callie can also make magical items once Callie's got, again, the formulas and the materials and somebody on hand to supply the actual raw magic power. But otherwise, if it's some sort of like alchemical item, if it's some, random piece of adventuring gear, weapons, armor, all that kind of stuff, Callie can make that given time and materials. Like, she is quite literally Iron Man. So, like think Tony Stark from Iron Man 1. Just running around in his like garage, putting together his like super suit. It's the same damn deal.
Gotcha.
So that is what Callie's whole ass is about. So part of this, when we started, we didn't go into any of that sort of stuff. So this is kind of us getting Callie catched up to where she's supposed to be with stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of that done. Is there any other purchasing that other members of the party would like to this location?
Well, at this point, Jamal just already just interested in the fact they taking a sweet ass time. He leans his head in and wondering, do they have anything that might knock a man out?
Do you want something that will knock conscious rather than
unconscious? Because I'm pretty sure Jamal would rather try to put them to sleep and then just slit their throat.
Okay. Let's. Okay.
If it works, it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's a viable tactic.
That's a veteran thing to do.
That's a veteran thing to do.
Fight smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Again,
or don't fight.
He's tactical.
Tactical, yeah.
Okay, so if you want something that can put somebody to sleep, let's see.
GM, I have a really unrelated question, but it is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, can I make poison caltrops?
Yes, you can do that.
Oh, okay.
Just marinate caltrops and poison. Just sit them in a cup and you marinate them.
Yep, you can.
That is a nice thing to know.
Nummy.
Okay.
Nom nom nom.
Nummy. Yo, you can buy dragon bile.
Yes,
I mean,
you
not from her,
technically
but, like-
can, not here, but you technically can. I'm trying to see if there is
hey, random lady in the middle of a small town. You don't
Hmm.
happen to sell green dragon bile, do you?
Why? Actually,
No,
yes,
what are you
I
talking
do.
Why, yes, I just got a shipment today.
And she'll be like,
From
no,
the source?
actually. Yes, a green dragon is specifically money
Oh, that's
Sourcing me with.
to make to pay for college.
Hey, look, I do more for less.
I do
Okay.
less for more. What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so she does have something that will put people to sleep. She has a it's called a lethargy poison, and
I thought you said leprosy.
not leprosy in a bottle. You got to go somewhere. You got to go somewhere else for that one. But she does sell lethargy poison. Lethargy poison is a injury poison. It's going to cost 7 gold per pop if you want to buy multiples of these. But lethargy poison, when you hit somebody with it, assuming that they fail their saving throw, the first thing that happens is slowed down, and then when they progress to the next stage is when they fall unconscious, and if they go all the way to the third stage, they can't even be woken up with damage.
That's a coma.
Yeah, they're in a coma for up to 4 hours.
Golly.
Well, that's perfect for Jamal to just get that killing blow if that's like a crit chance.
Yeah, so this is it's called lethargy poison. If you want to purchase it, she's got 5 total doses. Each dose costs 7 gold.
You got enough to spare.
I'll probably ask this later, but can we multi-class?
When you hit level 2, everyone gets access to a feat, and a feat that you can take is called a dedication feat, which basically allows you to multi-class.
Sick. All right, all good. I'm all done.
So if Tim could take rogue dedication.
Tim is thinking of how useful it is to be able to craft things.
It is very useful. And you currently have
if only just to make like grenades for himself, so he's like Bomberman.
I mean, that is a thing. But yeah, so how many lethargy poison does Jamal purchase?
I was like, you said it was 5?
7 a pop. She's got a total of 5, but each one costs 7.
Take one just for now.
Just one? Okay.
Just one.
All right, so you've got a dose of lethargy poison. So that you guys are aware, if you're going to be using poison in combat, it needs to be in your worn items on your inventory, so that you can make the interact action with it in order to apply it to the weapon that you are about to use it with.
Gotcha. So you have to hold it, then use it, and then it's on your weapon, right?
Yeah. The way that this works is that you have it in your worn items, so basically on your belt or it's in a bandolier, somewhere very easy for you to access. You then have to do a interact action with the poison to apply it to your weapon, and that takes 1 action for you to do that. Then after that, your weapon is poisoned, and unless the poison says it stays poisoned until you use it. Although, if you say you put poison on your knife or whatever, and then before you use it, you get dumped in the water, I'm going to say that it gets washed off, but for the most part, it stays on there. If you are using a gun, you're not actually dosing up the gun, you're just dosing up a specific bullet that you're going to shoot next. So your next shot is the poisoned bullet. That's how that works.
Gotcha.
Okay. Any other purchases before we head on? I'm going to take that as a no.
No.
Yeah.
Don't you?
I'm just curious if she's got any magical items, or like something along the lines of magic based.
She does not have any actual magical items specifically, although she does tell you a couple of shops, literally like a couple of like buildings off from where you're currently at, that sell magical items. And she points down the street towards the building that's all like fucking done up with like caution tape and everything. And she's like, they used to sell them over there, but like obviously they're closed right now. So
I see. Shame.
You know what I'm saying?
Shame.
I wouldn't really call that a shame. Herbert, the man who owns this shop, he's a bit of an ass.
Oh, we got that.
Oh, we figured.
Yes. Well, either way, thank you for your business. And she like her eyes like slide over towards Callie, and she's like, like she's having second thoughts about selling those formulas. Like, and then she just divorces herself from it. Of like, it's out of my hands now.
It's not my problem. It's not my problem.
Thank you for doing my job.
not my daughter. Not my problem. But yeah, she then. You guys are now free to move on to the hostel and actually meet with Gref, the man who needs. We're going to say that you guys spent a extra hour here at the apothecary, getting all this stuff done.
Give me that. Give me that.
Tell by Jamal's face.
Give me that.
Yeah. I fucking love grizzled old dog.
With the newcomers.
It's fucking hilarious. I like it that I like that he's like in his fucking.
He's 40. He's like 43, and he's with a bunch.
So
I'm just trying to do my job, man.
The party
here anymore.
heads over to the hostel. The hostel is like a hotel-ish sort of like thing. Like think ye olde Airbnb.
Nice.
But like it's not a nice building.
Not nice.
It like there's a reason why Vandal mentioned to Tim last session that if you go over here and do this, bring protection. This is a very economically rundown area of the city. You guys are going into. Let me tell you what the name of the actual like.
He was told to bring protection, and so he carried a gun and a condom.
Yes.
Yeah,
this would be a place
to be doubly sure.
This is a place where you would need both of those. This is Chicken Alley. Chicken Alley is the name of this like region of the town. It is outside the walls, and because it is outside the walls, it sees a lot less, patrols and stuff. Although, if you were to just like go around the, watchtower that you can see from the front door of this place, and walk down the wall several hundred feet and go around another watchtower, you would end up in a section of town which is which is called Oakgate. And Oakgate, even though this part of it is outside of the city walls, they have money, and therefore they get lots of police patrol protection. Like the kind of police patrol protection that would like see you guys on the street and then have to ask y'all questions, just cause.
Like, hey, where are you guys going?
They get paid. Yeah, they get paid. They get paid to profile.
Why is that fish girl got shit on her? That looks suspicious.
But either way, you guys go to the hostel. There are several people here. It is like you've got whole dogs barking in the background, children crying from somewhere. Just like a lot of people talking all around you. So it is a just cacophony of noise. And inside of this building, it is pretty fucking nasty. But with a simple asking around, you get which room belongs to Gref. And when you go to Gref's room, it is a small bedroom, essentially. We're talking like a 10-foot by 10-foot room that Gref is in. And when you guys knock on the door, you hear, like a voice call out and say, "I'll be there in a moment." And it is kind of like a painstaking minute while you're just standing out here in the hallway before the door opens, and is a human man who looks like he's probably like
Seen better days.
youngish middle-aged, but yeah, he's ragged. Like, this man is barely managing to stand up. Like, he's visibly shaking just through the effort of walking 5 feet to open the door. He is extremely thin. Like, his skin is hanging off of him. There are bruised blotches and all that sort of stuff. You can tell that one of his legs is prosthetic, like just a basic simple wooden leg. It looks like he's lost it like right below the knee. But he's not doing good at all. But he opens up the door and he sees the the wrappings from the apothecary, and you can see his face like actually light up just a little bit of like, oh, yeah, I know why you're here. But he does look at specifically at Tim.
Okay.
And he says, "Thank you for bringing this. Vandal has always been very good to me. I apologize for being a poor host, but I've got I've gotten very tired." But he otherwise, gestures for a couple of you to be able to enter. Because, like I said, this is like a 10 by 10 room, and most of it's taken up by his bed and a desk. So there's very little like area for you guys to stand.
Yeah, I kind of like, just for a second, I like Tim turns back on his like butler stuff and starts like leading the guy back to like wherever he seemed to have been sitting or was staying
you're taking him.
Yeah, I'm taking him back to bed.
You take him back to the bed. One thing to point out as you're like walking him over there is that inside of the room, it is not what you would call like clean, but it's also not like super messy or anything.
Yeah.
But on the desk and on all of the walls, there are multiple pictures, basically like posters and whatnot, that depict that depict a holy symbol, and that is covered in like gears and little mechanical pieces. And when Tim takes him over to the bed and he gets settled back down into the bed, he like pats Tim on the hand and he says, "Bri, bless you," and he settles back. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do here for this section of the social encounter is I'm going to need somebody, probably Laria, who is both trained in medicine and has tools to actually treat a disease on Gref here. Since you have the medication to do so, this is basically you dosing him up with morphine, because that's what this is. It's straight up morphine.
So do a medicine check, you said?
So yeah, what you will need to do in the room there is you will need to make a couple of medicine checks in order to essentially ease this guy's pain. You can tell he isn't long for this world. This man might be dead by the end of the week, if not sooner. So really all you're doing is quite literally easing his pain. Yeah, you're just trying to make it so that he's in less pain when it actually happens.
He's essentially in hospice.
Yeah, he's in hospice. And there are
19.
Hell yeah. There we go. So now the thing with treat a disease is this is not a fast activity. this takes hours to do. It takes 8 hours to do treat a disease. And during the 8-hour time that the party is going to be like sticking around, I need, like I said, 2 checks from you in order to apply the treat a disease activity. And for those of you who are not active in that, I need to know what the party is doing while you guys kind of just stand around and wait. You can provide aid, yes. Specifically, let me tell you what
Tim is
aid
probably
does.
going to do his very best to make him as comfortable as possible. Maybe try and clean the area as much as can, like dust stuff, so it's not just lingering dust in the air. Just
Okay.
make things a little bit nicer.
All right. So Laria specifically is going to be doing the actual, like, trying to dose this guy up with morphine. Tim is going to be straightening up around the room. June is going to be helping out Laria with like figuring out, what is the proper dosage to give this guy. I'm assuming Jamal is probably going to be on watch.
Like he normally always do, because that's literally how he is.
If I help with medicine, does it make it take less time?
It does not reduce. It doesn't reduce the time. It just simply helps with the. It simply helps with the check when you are providing aid. Specifically, what it does. Let's see here. When you aid an ally, then you're trying to help them with a task, and when you are providing aid, let's see here. When you use your aid action, you attempt a skill check decided by the GM. The typical DC is 20, but this can be adjusted for particularly hard or task. The GM can add relevant traits to your preparatory action or your aid action, depending on the situation, yada, yada, yada. If you succeed at the check, then you grant your ally that is making the actual check here, the one that's important, you give them a +1 circumstance bonus. If you crit succeed, then they get +2 circumstance bonus. If you fail, they actually do take a circumstance negative to the check, but only if you crit fail. If you just regular fail, it doesn't happen. Nothing happens. All right, so Laria's first medicine skill is a 19. If you guys are going to provide aid, then you also need to make medicine checks.
I'll do a medicine check as well.
Okay. So that's check number 1. And that's what Laria, June, and Callie are involved in, is the actual, like, applying medication to this guy. Tim is doing cleanup. Jamal's on watch. So Shadow Wizard Running, are you also on watch?
I'm gonna help Tim clean up.
All right, you're helping Tim clean up. Okay, so then I will need Shadow Wizard Money Gang. I will need Shadow Wizard Money Gang and Tim to both make religion checks.
Need to be religious to clean this man.
Well, he's basically like this entire place is filled with religious paraphernalia.
That makes sense.
Okay. Tim is not very good.
Well, Tim, hey, look, Tim's not. Tim's like, I don't get religion. It doesn't make sense to me.
But
can I put Mr. Servos on like sentry mode or something as well?
Yes, you can.
Sentry.
Okay, so Mr. Servos
building.
and Jamal are keeping on watch. So then I will need perception checks from Jamal and Mr. Servos. Mr. Servos detects no credible threats.
Mr. Servos detects no bitches.
Goddamn.
Got no maidens.
First tab, Jay, down at the bottom on the
it was
perception. Yep. Bam.
Yeah,
Good.
there we go.
Okay. All right. So let's go over this then. As far as the first check is concerned for applying, that's a pass. Bam. Good to go. For the cleanup crew, you guys generally straighten up. You do notice, of course, that there is a lot of religious paraphernalia here. Nothing that would be like, treasure or loot kind of like stuff, but just like a whole bunch of like.
It's like not taken from this man.
Like those those glass candles that have like paintings of Jesus on them. It's a lot of that.
Jesus, and then there's randomly just a Goku and an Evangelion one.
Yeah, except that it's all Evangelion. It's literally nothing but pictures, constructs, and automatons. Specifically, Shadow Wizard Running Gang, you realize that this stuff is religious stuff for Bry, who is also known as the Whisper in Bronze. Bry is a construct deity. She's a neutral deity, and she has reasonable popularity in the Empire because they use a lot of
robots,
constructs, and automatons and stuff like that. So she's a fairly common deity amongst that crowd. And as you guys are looking through this sort of stuff, you also find amongst all of these things, you find a military discharge document, and also in there you find a letter of recognition for services rendered and all that sort of stuff. That basically, Gref here was a member of the Imperial Navy at some point in the past, and during some sort of armed conflict, Gref was wounded while in the Navy service member and saved his entire ship basically from getting fucking sent to the bottom of the ocean. So yeah, this guy's basically a war
hero.
But
and he lives in this condition.
Yes, and he lives in this condition.
This is awful, man.
Yeah.
While you guys are coming across this kind of sad information, outside, Jamal, since you actually made a good enough perception check to do so, there is a point during this first 4 hours of wait time where you are the only person really in the hallway, and it kind of gets quiet around, you still hear stuff obviously, but it gets kind of quiet, and things are just sort of easing down, especially late lunch, midday, that kind of thing. And you get the unmistakable feeling that you are being watched. But as far as you can tell, as far as all of your, there's nobody in this hallway that could otherwise see you.
You feel an unwelcoming presence around you.
But you definitely got the hairs on the back of your neck are sticking up, and something's looking at me. That kind of feeling.
Jamal did did old West Cowboy finger thing, waving on his gun.
Oh, where he's flourishing it with spinning it on around the handle of the trigger.
No, the thing where he's getting ready his hand,
he's twitching the finger between the
he's about to get ready.
Oh, he's doing the showdown.
He's getting ready. He's getting ready to pull. All right,
doing the whole thing.
Pow.
To be clear, nothing actually shows up, but you cannot shake the feeling that you are being watched. As we move into the next section of this, the next 4 hours, for those of you who are helping Laria, go ahead and make your medicine checks. So we'll need one from June and one from Callie. Ooh, yeah. Heck yes.
Let's get it, baby.
Yeah.
Let's
All right.
go.
So
She's doing the
then,
Lord's work.
so then, Laria, if you would apply the actual medicine check to give this guy some jazz.
And you get advantage? Question mark?
No, she doesn't get advantage. She gets a bonus to her medicine check, and it's pretty fucking impressive here that she's got like a +6 right now, and
She rolled
she's only making like a
2.
10. She's only making like a fucking 10.
Yeah.
which is not a
She's a bit
success.
rusty with human anatomy.
So that's not a success. We're gonna need one more check from her.
Uh-oh.
24.
Oh, there we go.
That's one hell of a
There we
check.
go.
That's
That's a
one
hell of a check. Okay.
She brought it back.
Which Zane, if you would use your points by 1, please.
Wait, say it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, reduce your hero points by 1.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah.
I see it. I want to
Okay.
put down the 1. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, you should go down to 1. So with that critical medicine check, however, as well as critical aid from June, then you guys do actually critically pass the last check, which actually gives you guys a boon. And we'll cover that in a second. But before we get to that, cleanup crew, gonna need religion checks from you guys again.
Oh, yeah, one.
Nice.
Second. Hold on. I had to step away from the computer for a second.
Tim's just robotically putting the same object back onto the shelf over and over again.
Like you glitching out, bro?
Bzz, bzz.
I'm broken.
He's just vacuuming, but he's like a Roomba. He's just bumping into the same shit.
Roomba.
Tim is on a cliff. Tim is on a cliff. What is he supposed to do?
Tim is on a cliff. Help him.
Okay. All right. So you guys make your religion checks. You get the room probably as clean as it has been in a very fucking long time. And as you guys are finishing that up, I'm going to need another perception check from Jamal and Mr. Servos. Nice. Mr. Servos.
Figure it out.
Okay. Gotta roll some dice for that one.
Bam.
Okay. Well, good on Mr. Servos. All right. So, Jamal, as far as you're concerned, that like feeling that you're being watched, it lasts almost the whole like next like 4 hours. But then right towards the end, it kind of fades away. And you get this, feeling that you really truly are alone in this hallway. But outside, you and all of the rest, Mr. Servos like do the like beep beep beep, like I have detected something thing, and just a look out the window. You can see that Mr. Servos has like lifted up his chassis like high up off the ground, so he's basically like standing on. And he's got like the little plume of smoke coming out as like the brewing process is going on inside of him. But he's got his arm down, pointing his arm down at a cat, like a house cat that's on the street, and the cat's got its back arched and is like hissing at Mr. Servos.
It's a cat. It's a dog.
It's like hissing at Mr. Servos. Fucking like smashing arm at it. And the cat then like fucking scampers and runs away, and Mr. Servos, tracks it like with his arm, like he's pointing at it basically the whole way that down the street and around a building or whatnot, Mr. Sherlock's finally like calms back down and goes back into standby. And then he makes a little ding noise that lets you know that he's done brewing.
Your tea is ready.
So your 5 doses of alchemy.
Alrighty then.
Okay, so that all happens, and what you guys get actually for doing the critical success for supplying this man with care and whatnot is that like throughout all of this, like Gref has been very like uncomfortable. He is not a fan of the needles by any like sort of means, but after you guys have like properly gone through the dosage, he does become essentially like peaceful and relaxed. You can see the stress just like bleed out of his face and whatnot. And even though he's very relaxed, he remains conscious and lucid as he's like finally feeling some actual honest to God relief. And he tells Laria specifically that he is extremely grateful for the work that she has done in treating him, and he knows that this is probably not what you were planning on doing with your day, but he's very glad that Vandal found someone who was able to come out here and not only come out here and give him the stuff, but also like be able to treat him so well. And he knows that whatever you go on to do after this, just know that you will be in his thoughts and in his prayers, and he hopes that Bry blesses you all, which Bry does actually, as Bry grants everybody in the party a free hero point.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm back in neutral.
Wouldn't you believe it? Being a good guy pays off.
I would just
whatever
pretty
you're
much say, like,
bad guys.
it's the best I can do. I just hate to see someone suffering like this.
Well, right now he is not suffering. He is literally at peace.
Yeah,
and he is he's feeling capable enough to like through the rest of the day, and probably have probably get actual literal rest tonight. So he is very, like I said, he's extremely grateful for the whole thing. And he also asks you that when you do see Vandal, if you do see Vandal again, tell him that Gref, sends his eternal thanks. That he has all that he that Gref specifically does not hold what happened during the war against Vandal, and he thinks that it's Vandal really that deserves the honorable discharge rather than him. And then after that, he gets kind of a little like slurry and babbly as like the screen is like kicking it. But he lets you know that the party has received. She gives everybody that free hero point, like I said. And after that, he kind of just sort of like passes out peacefully. So he's good to go.
Passed out. I just
I got scared for a second.
Not passed away. He goes unconscious in a like good manner. Like he's not like slipping into a coma or anything like that. He's not dying literally in front of you.
Good. Tim would cry.
Yeah, you've given him enough relief from his condition that he can actually rest. So that's what he's doing.
Morphine and they'll relax.
Well, if you had critically failed the last check, he would have died from morphine overdose. But like that was
Oh no!
Fuck!
Yeah, that was straight up for the critical failure, which that 8 would have been a critical failure. So
Good thing we saved it.
Yeah.
that was an extremely good use
I
of a hero
almost
point and
goofed
turnaround.
it up, but I saved.
Yeah, almost.
I'm a
But
little
either
rusty
way,
at the-
the party has been out on the town for several hours at this point. Before you left the Cat's Eye, Torque did ask you guys to meet her at the open air market in the evening because that's when the kobolds that she has spotted doing thievery at the open air market are most active. So you're in the evening now, and you guys can head back over to the open market, and we can actually map.
All right.
The what?
Let's go.
All right, we're going to go to a new map. So first of all, let me select all of your tokens so I can copy those over.
New map. New map. New map.
Copy these over to the new map here.
Over to the new map.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me move you guys over here. And I also need to get Mr. Servos.
Mr. Servos.
Mr. Servos.
The man.
Avast thee, Mr. Servos. All right, so Mr. Servos is there, and I'll Torque on the map. So there's Torque. Okay. So, Torque, when you guys get over to the market, she lets you know that she's tracked the kobolds back to this like little side street alleyway area where they are congregating. They're bringing their stolen goods and whatnot over to this one area, and there's more kobolds than she was expecting. So she's glad you guys actually showed up to help out with this. And this particular area that they in, there are 2 entrances, and let me get you guys moved over to the map so I can show you where those entrances are.
New map. Let's go.
Here we go, new map.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you may need to zoom out. See all of this is kind of a tall one. Currently, everybody is up here at the top of the map.
Oh,
so you have
kobolds.
So you've got yeah, let me ping everyone. Oh, it's shift, yeah. Okay, so shift ping. So everybody's up here, but there's actually 2 entrances. There's this entrance, and then down here at the bottom of the map, there's this entrance down here. So it's up to you on how to split the party apart, if you want to split the party apart. Torque, specifically, is going to be taking the top of them.
So Torque is the top. Got it.
Yeah, so yeah, Torque. So Torque's only a top if you ask.
Nice.
Oh my god.
But you've got 2 options for where you want to enter into this, area where you've got kobolds doing kobold shit. So who wants to be at the bottom area?
I'll be bottom.
Yeah, I will too.
Okay, so we'll
The
move
bottom
Tim.
bros.
Don't say that.
Don't call them.
No gold.
All right, so we're gonna move Tim, and we're gonna move Shadow Wizard Money Gang down. Anybody else? All right. So Torque, Robot, Callie,
Jamal, join us, bottom bros.
Bottom bros.
Jamal would rather take the top because he still want a line of sight of everything.
I mean, reasonable. Larry, you want top or bottom?
Let's say top.
Okay. All right. So most of the party is going to come up here, but we got Frankie with Shadow Wizard Money Gang, and Tim. Alrighty. So,
boys.
all right.
Lads.
All right, my boys. So, this particular encounter is going to start as a social encounter, but it
Can go south.
that's why we have a combat map, because this could turn into a combat. So, as the party is coming up, Cabal or Torque lets you guys know that she spotted a bunch of red-scaled kobolds moving in and out of this area. Just so that we're clear, these are not the like tiny sex dragons that like evolution has bestowed with the fattest of thighs. It's not that kind of kobolds. These guys are like giant. These guys are like giant salamanders.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
not those kind of kobolds. Not those kind of kobolds.
Wait, what? Hey, yo.
It'll be a minute.
Yeah, like yeah.
I thought I could take one
Specifically. Well, I mean,
damn, I was ready. And
I mean, technically.
I was like, but same Jade. I'm like, I didn't even know that.
I'm just gonna stay on the loop on it.
So,
I knew it
anyways,
was gonna happen. I knew it was coming. We had to make mention of
these
sure
kobolds. These kobolds are the Pathfinder variety. The Pathfinder variety of kobold. They are built like giant salamanders. They are about 3 feet tall. They have a very like wide head that then has a relative. Their body gets kind of narrow, and then you got like the tail that comes out the back. They do have opposable thumbs, like 3 fingers. They got 3 fingies and an opposable thumb on every limb. They can bite. They can also use tools. They can also speak, which is going to be important here. So real quick, everyone take a look at your character sheet. You speak Draconic.
No. I can straight up tell you.
Tell you that.
Nope.
Nope. No.
Okay.
Aquaman, Common, Rasu, and Sylvian. That's it.
Okay, so
I know Common and Utopian.
And Torque knows quite a lot of languages, but Draconic ain't one of them. Okay, so let me.
I might have to request that.
Let me minimize
so I can go eat.
Okay, if you gotta go get mine. All right, so
yeah, I'll be back in like 10-ish minutes.
So when the party comes around the corner here to like get into position before they enter, you can see quite clearly, down the alleyway, you can see a couple of kobolds. There is this kobold up here. This guy is, let me shift ping that guy. So this guy up here, you can see him currently like chillaxing on somebody's like back porch. And he is like poking at this barrel here, like he's like trying to find if there's like a knot hole or a tap or something like that, so he can get like at the contents. But he's not like being particularly like to start off with this. Yes.
Like salamanders, goddammit.
Okay. I was just otherwise explaining who these, what these other kobolds are doing. They're just not really doing anything particularly violent, thievy or whatever. To start things out, though, I'm going to need somebody on the top area to make a perception check. Oh, yes, you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so 25. And since Tim is currently away, Shadow Wizard Money Gang down at the bottom. Perception check for me.
Damn.
All right. Okay, so now we're going to make perception checks for the kobolds. All right, so kobolds versus the two people at the bottom. Alrighty.
Oh, straight up going to be a combat encounter?
It's not combat yet.
Oh.
But it could become a combat.
I'm back.
Okay, so Shadow Wizard Money Gang, since you're up front and you're coming down the alleyway, there is a kobold who's down here. Let me ping the map again. So this guy down here, he is basically he is literally sitting watch. He's on the edge of the roof over here with feet hanging off, kind of just kicking them and not really doing anything. He spots you coming down the alleyway, and he kind of like tilts his head, blinks a few times, and then he says something in Draconic, and then you hear the same Draconic phrase being repeated over and over and over again by multiple kobold voices. He does not, however, make any sort of like violent moves. He doesn't pull a weapon or anything like that. As far as you can tell, he's just literally wearing.
I got a dumb idea. Is it possible for me to use my ancestry of right of knowing to learn their language?
Not really to learn their language, but I think you know common phrases with it. Let's see here. Ping your right of learning the right chat knowing, so I can see the right of knowing. Okay, so let's see. Connection to Axis allowing you to tap into the infinite knowledge of the plane. Call of Axis action, which I believe when we were talking about it before, we just kind of joked.
It's Google. It's Google.
Okay, so yes, I'm going to say you can use your call to Axis action to Google what the fuck this kobold is saying.
All right. So do I roll something or do I just? Yeah, it says you roll. You call upon the knowledge of Axis to assure the accuracy of information. You roll a second time to use the higher, and you use the resolve. You critical fail, you get a failure instead. If you roll a success, you get a critical success. Okay, so you're about to attempt a recall, check a recall knowledge. Okay, so I got to do a knowledge check.
Okay, so you're doing recall knowledge, and this is going to be associated with kobolds, and they are specifically a society check.
We live in a society.
All right. I do want to ask, do like the rest of them, like you said, make the same noise too?
Yeah, after this first guy chirps it, they all start chirping.
I also want to do something as well.
Okay. So we need two checks for the society.
Read the air, if that's possible.
You can.
What do I do? Just click on it?
Well, we need to get, first of all, let's do a second check for the society with Shadow Wizard Money Gang, because you get to roll twice.
All
right.
So we got a 17 to start and a 13, and this one gives you the higher. Okay, I'm going to say that with your 17, you don't know Draconic, but this is the kobold is saying a fairly common phrase in Draconic, which is a phrase for non-reptilian, non-Draconic people, as opposed to, like, say, a phrase for
Stranger.
Basically stranger who's not a member of our group, kind of like statement. You can pick up that it is approaching and be wary kind of thing. So it's basically just calling out, hey, there are people coming down the hallway. None of the kobolds, though, even though they all repeat this phrase, none of the kobolds pull weapons or do anything of that. So none of that. So, again, before we move anything further, Laria, you said you wanted to cast Read the Air.
Yeah.
So click on Read the Air.
All right.
All right. So you cast Read the Air. This takes it's going to last for a minute. And as part of casting the spell, you recall to gain information about the immediate situation. Okay. You also gain a +1 status bonus on your next diplomacy check to make an impression on those creatures present when you cast the spell, as long as the check occurs during the duration of the spell. All right. So you'll need to make a society check.
Society check.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. 10.
10. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty fucking neutral is what you're currently getting on.
Getting the same vibes as Shadows of Money Game.
Yeah, they don't seem to be like particularly on edge. They don't seem to be particularly concerned or anything like that. They've also all like, chirped out their warning of like, hey, there's somebody here. One of these, you guys see a kobold come over here to the edge of the roof, who looks down, like over the edge. You see him. Again, he's just like a little lizard man who's wearing a shirt, and he chirps out the same phrase that the rest of them all said, and then again it echoes across all the skies. They all just repeat it, so they've all heard it, they've all said it. So essentially, they are aware. The kobold who is up here then like looks up like he's looking across this roof. And then he moves across these raised wooden beams and then outside of you guys' view, but you can hear more draconic chirping kind of rapidly. And then you hear footsteps and you see a slightly different kobold face look over at you guys. And this one, even though you can only see like head and shoulders and whatnot, this guy is wearing armor. Like he's wearing like leather armor, and he looks down at you guys, and he then speaks in common and says, "What do you want?" And if you'll give me a moment, I'll put him on the board.
Hello, friend. The fuck y'all want?
Yeah, but he's like, "The fuck y'all want?" So let me move this guy over to token layer. There we go. All right, so this slightly different looking kobold guy, he comes over. Like I said, he speaks in actual common, and he says, slightly threateningly, "The fuck do you want? Why are you here? Who are you?
Who are you people?"
Why is that dog looking at me funny? Why is that?
Which one of you pet owners gave your dog
a gun?
Why is that?
Also one of your dogs is a giant robot. Which since Mr. Servos is here, this is actually relevant to say. But like the edge of these roofs, like the very edge of these roofs, they stick out from the wall. They will not support a medium-sized creature if you are on these edge pieces. So climbing up the wall and getting to the roof could do. It's just if you tried to like grab and hang or whatever, it's going to give way. Not only that, but the edge of these roofs is 14 feet off of the ground. So like Mr. Servos is technically tall enough that he can see over the roof. But if these guys are on the roof, unless you're like distant, like this guy over here, you can see him because he's angled at you, but all of the guys over here see, so you don't know how many are up here. And there's this guy. But that's his first question, is kind of an angry of, who the fuck are you? Why are you here? So let me ask first to Shadow Wizard Money Gang, because Shadow Wizard Money Gang is separate from everybody else. There is a kobold, and Tim is also there. But since you're over here, this guy, he saw you, he spotted you, he called you out. You then heard the chirping of everybody else, and you heard distantly, in common, who the fuck are you people? But you're still in the alleyway. What do you want to do, since you're down there and you're not close enough to be in the conversation up here?
They don't seem threatening at the moment.
Yes, that is correct.
So I'm gonna do a non-aggression. I'm gonna be non-aggressive. But the moment they lay a single finger onto Callie Scales, I'm going to rip and tear until it is done. I'm going to have fried lizard.
Alrighty. Okay, so are you setting your action to move toward Callie and to cast an offensive spell if they make an aggressive movement towards Callie? Is that what you are setting your action to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, so I'm sure Danger's still getting food, so we'll just assume that he makes a thing. Okay, so this guy back up here with the rest of the party, he asks, "Who are you? What the fuck's your business?" Torque says back to the guy in common that you've been stealing from the vendors in the market, and they would very much like that to not happen again. So, and she kind of gestures at you guys of you see all these armed, dangerous looking people? And she says, we can settle this peacefully, but you need to stop with the stealing. It's bad, okay? So she just gives the and I'm not going to have her make an impression because she is the NPC here, unless you guys want her to make the impression check. But she sets up the whole hey, this doesn't have to be violent. So she simply puts that out into the universe. This doesn't have to be violent.
It doesn't have to be violent. It kind of ensues. There's a chance to be violent. It's we just want to figure. I want to be more diplomatic. Be what's going on? What's causing y'all to steal? Maybe there's something we can work out.
Well, that would be something you could ask if you were there.
Yeah.
But you're not there. So a player who is in this top group, what do you guys want to say to the lizard guy?
As I said, the moment they lay a finger on one of Callie's scales.
Rip and tear until it is done.
I was gonna say June is pretty good at talking to people.
Yeah.
Okay, so during the downtime period of the session, Laria spent most of her time actually in the open air market, trying to sell items and stuff like that. So she was actually there to see it. But Torque, who does a lot of shopping for herself and her friend that does not want to come into town, was also at the open air market, and she found out that there were several vendors who have had small items, mostly foodstuffs, stolen from them. Not in such a quantity that it's super detrimental to their business. I want to be clear on that. This is basically minor theft. But it has been happening consistently, and it's been happening a little upset. Torque, being a socially minded adventurer, took it upon herself to figure out what was behind that, and she found out about the kobolds, and then she alerted the party to that. And she said that she would track down where the kobolds were like hanging out at, so that essentially they could be confronted, and maybe persuaded to not steal as much, maybe go somewhere else, maybe figure out what is at the base, what might be the root cause for this kind of thing. So she found this location, she scoped it out herself, and then when you guys showed of Griff, she told you there's a lot more kobolds here than she thought, because she spotted 2 during the week, but as you can see, there are several. There's way more than 2 of them here. So obviously, her moving in by on these guys is, if things do go south, it wouldn't look good for her. So that's why you're here. But the idea was to find out why these guys were stealing, if there was, like a reason beyond they're just pickpockets or whatever, and then potentially get them to stop doing that, either through intimidation or through diplomacy. So you have an option on which way you want to. The guy who speaks common, the kobold that's there on the roof above you, that guy, yeah, he's on the roof. He's like 14 feet above you. You can see, like I said, you can see that he is wearing actual like armor built for a kobold. The other guys have been unarmed, street clothing. But this guy is armed. He seems angry, honestly, when he spots you guys, but he has not otherwise made. And
He's
now
unhappy
Torque,
to see us.
yeah, but he is unhappy to see with a even larger robot roll up on his like crew. So the way that we're doing this is like similar. Similar to when you guys were dealing with the Apostle. This kobold NPC, his attitude is currently hostile, and if you can raise his attitude to at least indifferent, then he will give the command for the kobolds to, fuck off and stop pestering the merchants, at least for now. If you, however, though, since he's basically on a hair trigger, if you fail to make the impression to get him high enough to do so, then he's going to call on his like kobold brethren to like, throw pots and pans at you or whatever. So essentially that's
that's very intimidating.
like, I mean, yeah, like, oh yeah, he seems super fucking intimidated. But this guy here, he's intelligent. He speaks common. He's actually wearing equipment made for a kobold, and he does have. Yeah, he's not a vagrant. These guys, they might be vagrants. They might just be homeless kobolds that live here in the city. Who knows? But so here we are as we come up to this. June has in the past proven to be pretty damn good at the whole talking to people thing. So unless somebody else wants to jump in, I guess June, who would need to make an impression with this guy. You can choose. Yeah, like right now, like Mr. Servos is squeezed to a tight passage mode, so he's very threatening. And Torque is not being threatening. Jamal, in all of his behavior, usually like waits until shit goes sideways before he like, gets ready to throw down. So everybody, I would assume right now, is not being actively threatening. Okay.
Oh, we're still talking? We haven't started fighting yet?
No, we're just getting started on
Hopefully
talking.
we're not.
Hopefully we're not.
Gotcha.
Well, the kobold guy, he answers down and he says, "Okay, let's assume that that's true. You are in our territory, and I am the leader of this gang. I am." And he says his name. Let me flip over real quick so I can tell you what his actual name is. He says, "I am Gakthus. I am the leader of this group because I have the fire stick and because I have the spike." At which point, he lifts up a like torch stick, which looks like a big like club baseball bat in his small kobold hand. But he like lifts that up and he like pulls off the cap on the end of it, and it just bursts into like flame, and you guys can hear all of the other ooh, and then he like holds up his like he grabs the thing that's hanging from around his neck and he pulls up a metal spike that's on a chain, and you can see the spike has a magical rune carved into it that is also slightly glowing. But he's like, because I've got these things. And he said,
and make an impression as well, but I think it's already too late for me to do that.
But he says his name is Gakthus, and he is the leader of this. He is the leader of this gang, and he says it is my responsibility as leader to make sure that my people get fed, and that is what we have been doing. We have not hurt anyone. And then he like kind of squints and he says, "Yet." Like he's trying to put like venom on it of like yet.
Jamal.
So scary.
Mm-hmm. Yes. This is correct. We have been taking it, and also a few little things. Forks.
Forks.
What was that other thing that we took? And kind of like over his shoulders, and you hear another voice like say something in Draconic, and he looks back. Chopsticks and napkins.
Nice.
I'm like, Jamal have that sort of look like, okay.
Forks and knives.
We are not just. We are not petty thieves. We are not bandits.
But I overhear it and I whisper over to Tim. Yeah, petty doesn't begin to describe it. They're pitiful, more like it.
But he says, we cannot find work in this town. They do not hunt us here. We are treated better than in other places. Not as good as like the furry ones with the like tails and stuff, and certainly not as good as like the humans. But still we are not treated like rodents and pests. But even then, we cannot find work. We cannot find ways to make money. We have to take what we need. I told my people to go gently on the merchants when they were taking things. I thought if we did not do too much theft, that they would write off the loss. But if they don't want to write off the loss, then I guess that's kind of their problem, because, well, we still got to eat, and I like chopsticks.
We all do. Tim thinks for a second and like leans over to Shadow his money gang. He's like, "Do you think we could get him to work at like KSI or something?"
Maybe, I don't know. We would have to ask Fridge or Madam. Madam, what was her name? GM, Madam Kitty.
Miss Kitty.
Miss
Kitty.
Got
it. Well, technically, it's Mrs. Kitty.
So she's not married. I see.
Wow.
Gakthis.
Gakthis.
Yeah. I am willing to listen. I will entertain a meeting between us, but I would need to know what you could do for my people. We are in a poor situation, and there are many mouths to feed. What do you propose would be a way to alleviate these hardships?
I mean, the Cat's Eye could always probably use more servers or waiters.
But you got to remember though, Tim and I are over there.
Yeah, the to be clear, the Cat's Eye, from everything that you guys have interacted with over there, they seem to constantly need like repairs done to the building, as well as like additional like wait staff and everything. Because while they have like a lot of like quote unquote wait staff, they're not really wait staff. They're entertainment. Like they sell their company by the hour. But otherwise, though, if they do have a constant need for it. So technically speaking, these kobolds that is actually possible.
And just acts like Tor, we think that'd be a possibility.
Just let him know to like
Uh,
hang out for like an hour and a half, and then we can come back and give him an update.
I mean, yeah, that would work. Torque says if Gacthus is willing, that she can hang out here to, keep a dialogue open, and we could send a runner, back over to the Cat's Eye, which is quite literally had. So you could get over there in like a minute, talk to Fridge, and then run back over here, minute worth of time. So if you guys want to send somebody to stay here, whichever. What do y'all want to do? Do you want to send somebody, be gone for a couple of minutes in game time to talk to Fridge and Miss Kitty about it? Willing to entertain this, and otherwise keep Gacthus here, occupied enough that he doesn't just tell the kobolds.
Callie on the mushroom.
What?
From your chest, boy.
I could get in Mr. Servos and then go.
Yeah, you could climb into Mr. Servos and just ride back over to the place and ask.
It also might take the tensions down if the giant,
Big robot.
yes,
gone.
please.
the big fortress on legs would leave.
Gacthus.
Gack piss.
Gack this.
Gacthus agrees. You may come up to the room to speak with him. Yeah, like as equals. He will meet. Make a you know what? Since you've got the benefit of having, make me a athletics check, DC 15. Okay.
Loses
Yeah.
a grip and just falls into a dumpster.
Shoot.
Okay. All right. So I will
That's that
move.
negotiator we need.
I will move June up here to the I mean, admittedly, from top like surfaces of Servos are pretty, so getting a good like balance on top of Mr. Servos to then jump on a little difficult. Okay.
What you got?
Just I think that sounds worthy to give it a shot. Willing to have someone go and make this request. I am willing to hear it out without resorting to violence. Pardon me. It's pretty fucking big, actually.
Yeah, I mean it's big. It's big to like regular people. It's gonna be ginormous then.
All right, so then what? Okay.
I mean,
You're sending Callie?
I'll probably go with Callie if I'm able to fit inside Mr. Turbo.
Well, you're a small creature, so yeah.
Yeah, you would fit.
Okay.
All right.
So
now that the cleric and the child is gone, Shadow Wizard Money Gang, are you ready to rip and tear?
You know, like somebody
Okay.
just lost a child.
All right. So I'm you guys hear Mr. Servos. Let me move Servos to the back. So you guys are basically riding to Mr. Servos. I am going to you guys over here into the because you're just away. Jamal is still down. June is up here.
Can Jamal do something real fast? Because
Sure.
I just realized something. Can he pass a check to alert the other two knuckleheads that don't engage?
You know what? Jamal could easily just travel around other alleyway and tell them that, straight up. So if you want to have Jamal just switch from the top to the bottom to give them this information, that's easy enough done.
Tim's like loading his gun, getting things like cocked back, ready to rock and roll.
I'm like, yes, quickly.
Gacthus. Okay.
Oh crap! I had my microphone muted this whole time on stream.
Whoa!
Wow. So that long RP session where June just like diffused the whole situation. Well, shit. I really wish I lived alone. I really wish I lived alone so I didn't have to mute my microphone when shit happens. Anyway.
Well.
But yeah, so anybody's watching the VOD, June clamped to the roof and the party is... Well, they could hear you guys at least, but they couldn't hear me. So yeah, June was the negotiator.
Okay. So...
I'll be back. And I'm gonna remember to unmute my microphone when I get back.
Good. All right. So while we wait on June to get back, because June is something that I was going to point out is June sees a few kobolds that you guys couldn't. So there's actually even more guys up here, and these kobolds, like the other kobolds, they're armed. They have as well as like slings and pointy sticks that they've put together and that sort of thing. So they've got some meager and Gacthus himself is actually the only one that's wearing like this was literally made for a kobold kind of thing. He's wearing like actual armor, and this man really be because not only does he have the magic spike on a necklace and the like fire stick, but he's also got a fucking crossbow slung across his back.
Dang.
So yeah, he is literally the best guy on here.
He's ready to
Otherwise,
rock and
though,
roll.
you've got mostly like just dudes. Statistically, some of these have to be female, but like you've got just regular.
Statistically.
You've got regular
There's no like physical difference.
commoner. From the exterior, no. You'd have to get in there and start fishing in some cloacas to figure out what's going on.
Gotcha.
And you're gonna need to ask.
That as.
Yeah, you'd have to ask for permission for that. Definitely. Okay, so yeah, there are some additional kobolds up here which are armed that could mount a defense, but they're not like armed in any sort of way that would be actually dangerous to you guys. Potentially Gacthus himself might be dangerous, but he's probably but he's literally like one actually capable combatant versus like 6 of you guys. So Gacthus, I am going to say that since June was willing to come up here, talk to him face to face, and the robot has rolled out of here, I'm just going to count that success in moving his attitude up a level. So he is no longer hostile. He's just kind of unfriendly.
Okay, I came back. What happened?
I was just letting everybody know that there were a couple of extra kobolds up here that you can now elevated location. Mm-hmm. Unlike the other regular kobolds who are barely wearing clothing, these guys have some rudimentary armor that they've managed to like slap together. Like one of them is literally as like a helmet.
Okay.
They've got some sharp pointy sticks and that sort of thing. And Gacthus, besides the fact that he's wearing actual made armor, mm-hmm. and he's got the fire stick and the necklace that's got the metal stick on it with the runes. He also had a crossbow, which is attached to his like belt and all that sort of stuff. Okay. So he's kind of he may be a capable combatant by himself, and the other guys that are able to provide some defense could maybe put up again some kind of defense. But really, you guys could steamroll this entire group. It wouldn't be hard. But since the robot has won, and you came up here to talk to him, I'm counting that as one success in moving his attitude.
Just a quick question: how tall? How big are kobolds? Like, again, like we're mentioning that they're not, the chibi drumstick, like drumstick one. Like, are they like human size? Are they like still kind of like short? Like, or are these like?
Oh no, they are quite small. These guys are like their total body length, if you're counting like their tail and all that sort of stuff, their total body length is maybe 4.5 to 5 feet. Okay. Standing up, the kobold heads are hovering right around like June's crotch. They're like maybe 3 foot at best.
Hey, yo, what?
Hey, yo, huh?
Yeah, they are maybe 3 foot tall.
Okay. Yeah. So they're still small. They are still small.
Yeah. I'll post in Discord so that everyone can see what a picture.
I just know kobolds are just like one of the most
I'm gonna just start picking them up.
I think that's a good.
They're extremely inconsistent.
Yeah, I know that's. I was
going to say
that's a good way to get bit. But yeah, I was just saying like kobolds are one of the most inconsistent things. Like I think when the first edition of them, they were essentially like pigmen, and then they became like dogmen, and then they were like lizardmen, and like and like one edition like they couldn't communicate except by barking. I don't know. It's in and then
the in the very early kobolds were depicted as either kind of like dog or kind of rat-like, and then when they picked up the reptilian features is when they kind of got connected to dragons, and that's been the one consistency. But otherwise, though, they're incredibly fucking wild in their depictions.
Look at the thighs on that
and
one.
then they got domesticated into the hentai kobold.
Wait, where are we looking at this? Oh.
In Discord, I put what the official picture in Pathfinder looks like. Like I said, they're basically shaped. They're basically shaped like giant salamanders. They've got a very wide head. They have very wide shoulders, and then everything just gets arrowed.
Yeah, they are literally lizardmen. Like, but
yeah, they are tiny.
They are the Geico gecko.
Yeah. Yeah. So think red Geico gecko, who's also quite angry and has a.
I'm not gonna lie, they are actually kind of cute.
Yeah.
I mean, there is honestly even the feral kobold.
Like they look like they would receive like pretty good head pats or head rubs or scratches, whatever the.
Oh yeah, like they can be quite nice. They also make good player characters. They are an available race.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
You know, like if you wanted to play a kobold, so you know that there's that.
If Tim dies, I'm playing as
here in Harham, because I believe this would be valuable background information to give everyone. Is that here in Harham, kobolds are treated as people, like that they are people. But outside of Harham, especially once you get into the more rural and like edges of wilderness sort of location, they're treated like a pest species. So like, so they're usually by other humanoids, and they have a tendency, because of their smallness and everything, they have a tendency to kind of get rounded up by any and your personal charisma to get them all riled up into. That's why they usually get picked up by petty warlords and things like that.
Yeah.
They
are the minion
work.
Race.
Yeah, they are like the minions, and but they are otherwise though very industrious. They're extremely good with technical things. They can make all kinds of crap out of garbage. So
they're like orcs from Warhammer 40K.
I mean, kind of, sort of, but you can also the way that they are. They are like an extremely reduced version of, in that they are inventive and crafting and whatnot. And if they got the supplies, they can make all kinds of stuff. It may only work once, but they can make all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
So these kobolds, as Gakthis mentioned, here in Harham, in the city itself, they are, legally speaking, people, and therefore are generally treated like people. However, though, they're second-class citizens. They have very little in the way of like ability and things like that. They kind of they have to luck into the right kind of job in the right kind of place, sort of thing. Most of them, however, tend to live effectively in squalor, which is what is the situation with these guys.
Sad.
Yeah, it is sad. But
so do they live in this?
Situation
do they live in this alley, or what is it like? Or are they just kind of just squatting here for the moment?
This is their quote-unquote gang territory. They do not live in the alley itself. This is the surface level. Gakthis would go ahead and explain. They actually live down there, and he points at that big large.
So great.
Yeah, so where they actually sleep at and whatnot, and if they have any
live
young,
in the sewer.
Yeah, if they have any young or any sort of stuff like that, it's down in that sewer grate, down somewhere below the actual streets. This is the surface spot that is, more or less defensible and doesn't get a lot of traffic.
Teenage Mutant,
sort of congregate in.
Dang, it makes me sad. I feel bad for these kobolds, man. Yeah.
So these kobolds. So these kobolds
Tim
are.
I do.
June was going to kind of subtly ask how Githak got the fire stick in the what was the other one? Pointy or
he's got a
Fire stick and a spike.
pointy. He's got a pointy metal spike which he's wearing on a chain that has glowing magical runes. So it is enchanted in some sort of way.
Yeah.
And since June is so close, plenty of light coming off of the fire stick. There's no heat coming off of the fire stick.
Ooh.
So
Now we gotta steal them.
So Gakfus proudly displays his fire stick, and he says, "I found this when we were cleaning up one of the tunnels below. It was clogged with trash and debris, things which are useful for making structures. But in that mess, I found this stick, and when I pulled it out of the water, it burst into flame. That is why it is the fire stick. That is why I am the leader."
He got it from the place called Amazon. I'm sorry.
The spike. He shifty eyes as he's like, the spike. I found that elsewhere.
Insight check.
Oh, insight. Here, he's talking to me.
I'm saying insight.
But yeah, he
June is gonna incite that
when
though.
He does that.
Yeah, June is gonna incite that though, where he's where is it?
Oh yeah, there's not insight. What would it be?
Perception?
Perception?
Huh. Yeah, it's perception.
Okay. Yeah, no, the Pathfinder has like some weird changes, but yeah, perception. Let's see. Mod 20.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
So,
I'm starting to like Pathfinders.
He is definitely holding on. Got the spike. He may have stolen it, or he may just not want to talk about where he found it at. But he's not anywhere near as descriptive where he got the spike from.
But June is essentially going to be like buttering up, like, oh yes, I see, like she is genuine. She is. I guess I'm just like gonna say it. Like she is genuinely curious. You know, like obviously like this kobold has like some decent magical items. You know, but she's also kind of like, you know, just trying to ring him for information, I guess. You know, but just like like
butter him up.
Yeah, buttering him up. Yeah.
Okay, so pardon me.
And did he answer like where they came from?
He said that they have their home basically is in the sewers beneath this place. As far as where they from before that, he says that they came to Harham on one of the big human ships, and like gestures, you know, in that direction, and you're, you know, literally like a block away from the docks. So he just gestures that, and while he's not like pointing to a specific ship, the way that his hand goes kind of implies that they arrived on a Navy vessel. And again, while he doesn't exactly give you specifics of it, the implication seems to be well over a year or two ago.
Okay.
And they've just simply been trying to like
survive.
Yeah. So, since you have been talking and whatnot, I need June to roll a diplomacy check to again influence his mood.
You got it.
Towards at least indifferent. He's already been moved one step, so we need to move him 2 more steps here.
All right, 15.
The DC is 15, so that makes it. So he's next step towards indifferent. So now he's just kind of grumpy about it. He actually seems to be enjoying talking about, what his
magic
group
stuff.
has done, and the like cool magic thing that he has that.
Yeah. This
he does seem to be like happy about explaining this to you.
Yeah. This is June's element right here. She is like. She is like she has him like in the palm of his hands, essentially. The palm of her hands, essentially.
All right. So you've made that second diplomacy check. The Laria and Callie, who left, talk to Fridge and Miss Kitty. You guys get over to you get over to the Cat's Eye, and both of them are there. And to make things quick about this, they tell you that, like, while that's not like ideal to have a bunch of kobolds move in, they do, technically speaking, they do need a workforce that can do, stuff that kobolds are capable of doing, and they do have some extra space that they could probably set aside for the kobolds.
I was gonna say, you put them in the back of a barn somewhere in this one.
And while they're as they like are, while you're there for like a minute or whatnot, as they kind of like bat this back and forth quick, you guys see the little slide that opens up into the kitchen, like slide open, and you see Ixtil's like covered face like poke out, and he says something in Orcish to Fridge, which causes Fridge to kind of like pause for a moment and then look over at Miss Kitty, and then he says something to Miss Orcish, and then Fridge looks over at you and is like, okay, you know what? We'll try it. Fuck it. What's the worst?
What's the worst that could happen?
So
Always
they
Sonic
agree.
Jingle starts playing.
So they agree that they can give these kobolds a place and. All right. So then you guys begin to head back over to the alleyway. While we wait for them to get back to the alleyway, June, as you are up here with the kobold leader, Gakthus grabs the little like cover fire stick. The
cover for the fire stick.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
So he covers up the fire stick, and he kind of like tucks that into his belt, and you see him like grab the spike, and he kind of like runs his thumb the rune, and he looks at it looks back up at June, and he says, this city is not the worst city that I have been in before. It's actually pretty good, things considered. If your friends can give us a place to stay and a place to work, then who's dead?
Levi.
Oh.
Our spectator.
If
they give a place to work, then I think we could come to a conclusion to this that would be beneficial for all of us, including the vendors. This is unexpected for me. I was not thinking that today a human of all people would come to actually speak to us and listen to the problems that we are dealing with. We are, like I said, generally not treated very well. I know that kobolds are sometimes looked down on as lesser beings because of our size. And if we are being honest, many of us are not exactly the brightest bunch. But look at me. I have some education, and I have organizational skills. I can even write. So, if we can, stabilize fellows, perhaps they can, have enough time to learn more. They have inquisitive minds, but, limited options when it comes to furthering their knowledge.
June is going to kind of look at the sky a bit, kind of gaze into the distance a bit and say, I've been in your shoes before. I know that problem. It's not an easy life.
It is not. There have been other leaders. Our previous leader, he felt that this sort of life made us hardy, strong, resilient to hardship.
And
maybe there was some truth to that, but yes, ignorance runs deeply. There is much resentment and illness. There is so much superstition which runs through my people. Right now, the adults are, I think, willing to make changes, and our young are not yet set into those ways. Kobolds breed and grow quickly compared to you. By the time you are wrinkly and gray, my great-grandchildren will be leading our colony. So I hope that by that time, should you come by to check in on us, nothing has happened to disrupt things. We will all be in a much better place. That is what Gacthus hopes for. That future generations have a better life.
I'm not promising any miracles here. I can't speak for every other person. They, unfortunately, can be ignorant too. But hopefully, if this does work out and you can better your people, they can in turn prove to others that the ignorance and superstition is wrong. And it is going to be a long, long time till I'm old and gray. And she kind of does a bit of a haughty chuckle, But when that time comes, maybe there's a chance that things will be different and for the better.
I hope so, too. And as he says this, the rest of the pulls back up on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And June, I would like you to make a diplomacy check.
Diplomacy check. Okay. Ba-ba.
Hero point.
It's gonna be our last hero point.
You got this. It'll be
Okay.
good.
Diplomacy. Here we go. There, 23.
Yes.
There we go. Okay.
Crisis
So-
averted.
Yeah. those hero points are fucking work.
Yeah,
For
they
real,
are.
these hero points are killing it.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
They are fucking saving our bacon today.
Yeah, they are paying rent. Okay. So
I'm glad I had two.
with that third check, that is a success. Then you manage to the needle Gaxus's attitude towards you personally and towards the party in general. He is no longer of the mood to, like, you know, call in the other kobolds to, like, swarm, anything like that, and he is willing to listen to you know, what the rest of the party has to say as far as, like, you know, the news from the cat's eye and everything. And you guys have successfully managed to getting swarmed by kobolds. Hip hip hooray!
Hooray!
Let's go.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah, I imagine. I just, you know, you're the DM, but I imagine it was less, you know, like get that getting hostile, more like the group getting kind of anxious or angsty, you know, like like, you know, just keeping the crowd calm versus, you know.
Yeah,
we were all ready to fight, and you were like, "Hold on now."
Yeah. So, like, as far as this is concerned, Gakthus himself, basically just like a creature level 2 kobold. He is reasonably intelligent as far as kobold. You know, he's honestly, he's right up there with the average human, intelligence wise. And the other kobold that far below him or anything like that, but like he said, they don't have any sort of, like, education when it comes to things, but they are naturally inquisitive, and they are, you know, like I said, naturally inclined towards being good with their hands and being very, you know, being able to make stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
they can
they're
definitely do the
sentient.
job. Yeah, they can definitely do the job, and because they take up so little space, they can essentially move the gang this alleyway over to the cat's eye and start, you know, working at the cat's eye.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is we kind of in the actual, like, RP session and everything here, as a bit of resolve, you guys go cat's eye, and I'll move us back over to that map.
Quick,
you guys head back over to
one moment, DM. June was going to ask Githak, now that, like, you know, things are thing, if he would be willing to let June down in, like, the sewers and, like, see, like, where they, like, live, and, like, just kind of scope out, like, their living condition, you know, like, and I guess, you know.
Yes. Yeah, he would be willing to like, what their living conditions is.
Yeah.
Squalor. Now, to be clear, the particular, like, sewers that they in, this is like they essentially, they've got brackish water that is coming in, where they've got, like, runoff from here, as well as, like, trash that gets swept into it. Like, they're not living in, like, piss and shit.
Oh yeah.
They're not in that part of it. Unfortunately, though, they're also, like, very close to the actual bay, and every time the tide comes in, half of their community is basically
God, that's so sad.
Damn.
It is kind of the it's kind of the thing is.
Yeah, that's what June was kind of, like, curious about. She's gonna be pretty upset about that.
Yeah, other than these kobolds that you see here, there are a half dozen other adults, and they were all down area tending to immature kobolds, so kobold children, of which there's about a dozen
Babies.
kobold children.
Babies.
So there are little kobold pups
Oh.
down there that are very young. They have a couple of eggs. They've got like that to go, but they don't have stuff like to move. It's going to take them a little while to gather the few things that they do have, but they don't have like a lot of shit. Since you do go down there though to check it out, and they give you a general tour, I would like June to what would be the appropriate? Let me open up June's sheet real quick here.
Okay.
Let's see here.
I am out of hero points.
Yeah. Make a thievery check.
A thievery check. Okay, that's
Oh God! Don't steal anything.
interesting. 14.
Okay. All right. So with your thievery check, you're not stealing anything, but your thief senses tingle as you are, getting shown around in this relatively tight area. That they have basically slapped up some broken pieces of wood and whatnot. One part of these tunnels, it basically to just kind of like, the greater tunnels that lead under town and whatnot. But as you are getting like shown past it, like you just get this like tingle of something's up, and when you look over at that like shoddy made little barrier and whatnot, while you can see in the very poor lighting conditions only a short distance down that tunnel, something at the very edge of vision moves. Something that is at least human moves down there. It like goes around a corner, to where you can't see it anymore.
Okay.
I'm going.
But
you do just get the catch of like there's something down there.
Okay.
Kind of like thing. The kobolds for themselves, they don't seem to either care or notice it.
Okay. I'm gonna actually subtly, like where I'm not like hey, what's that? Like just more like kind of like not full on whisper, just like kind of softly say like did you see something over there? And like kind of nudging to the past that barrier.
You know what? Let's make a check for Gactus.
Yeah.
Gactus, what's your perception? And Gactus does have dark. All right, so since he's got dark vision, he's going to make his perception check. And you know what? Actually, we'll do this as a public roll. So this is Gactus's perception.
Okay. 11.
No.
Yep.
No, he does not see it.
All right. I'm just gonna ask him if he knows there's anything big in that area.
Oh God, what is that thing's name?
Come on, you got this.
No, the real question is can Gactus, me using Gactus's voice, pronounce? Let's see. Okay, Gactus. Gactus says that, or Gactus kind of looks at you questioningly, and he's like, "Do you mean like a Europe and thing?"
Bless you. You okay?
You just like me, for real, for real.
God damn.
But yeah,
Stop it.
he really is choking his way through syllabled that just doesn't work very well when you don't have lips.
Hey.
I just thought I saw something at the very end of there. At least bigger than, at least as big as me, if not bigger.
Yeah, they do get pretty big. but is animal like what are they called? Them do you know animal with like, and he makes like claw pinchy motions with hands. He's like these and like hard bug shell, and also has like stabby thing on like tail.
Would June know a creature like that?
June would be relatively familiar with scorpions, yes.
Okay, but like a human-sized scorpion?
Well, like the giant centipedes, which you guys saw earlier in the day, there are giant scorpions. And if he specifically does mean, let's see, giant scorp. If he does mean a giant scorpion, it is bigger than a man. It's the size of a horse.
Okay, and that definitely was not like that. Like it was more like a person shape, right?
Yeah, it was human sized. This would be like a standing kind of like, human sized shape is hard to play out, but it was at least as tall, like 5 feet tall. As like a person, and it did not seem to have any like bits that trailed off.
Forget I said anything. It's fine. I think I'm going to, if you would allow me, I'd like to stay and keep an eye on the place while everybody's getting ready to move. Is that all right?
I guess that is fine. We will get everyone moved over to the new location within an hour or so. We are nothing if not efficient when it comes to vacating one location and moving to another.
That's a good skill to have.
Yeah, they actually literally have a specific ability stat block that allows them to do that. But so over the next hour or so,
June is also going to
and head out.
While they're doing that, June is going to whisper something to Githak, which I will DM to you.
If we're all quiet enough, I can hear exactly which letter they're typing. B, X, T,
Otherwise,
V, L.
while the message gets sent, the rest of the party gets back over to the cat's eye. Back over to that page. There we go.
Let's go.
And the kobolds
We brought a ton of kobolds.
Yeah, like the kobolds. When
Like an
you guys
army.
show up with the kobolds, Fridge and Extil direct them towards like the back of the building, and where they've got like essentially where they're going to temporarily post up these kobolds for like the next like night or two until they've got something better established for them. But that's where they take the kobold. Of
As
note,
we're walking back.
Extil speaks Draconic.
Oh, calling it.
So
He's
not
a
only does he
kobold.
so not only does the guy who is not only does the
kobolds
cook
in a jacket.
so not only does the cook who's dressed like fucking Storm Shadow,
I'm the cook.
not only does he speak Orcish, but he also speaks fucking Draconic. But yeah, they handle all that. And since Fridge and handling that, between Miss Kitty and Torque, they take back over the services that otherwise need to go for the tavern to continue to function. So, end of session, officially, right here.
Yay.
First of all, congratulations. Everybody levels up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So you get 200 and you get 250. You get 250 XP, 1,000. So your XP total then goes back. It resets to 0, and then you level up to level 2.
So Pathfinder does work like that. It's like,
yep.
Oh.
Yep. You have to get 1,000 to level up every single level.
Huh.
So yeah, instead of like in previous versions where it was like a logarithmic like growth for how much XP you needed to the next. They've just done the fill up the bar, and once you fill up the bar, it resets, and then you got to fill up the bar again.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So now normally we try to end the call after. So if we want to just kind of go over what happens when you, we can go ahead and take care of that since we're all here on voice. But otherwise, I'm going to continue to just kind of like
I get a class feat.
Check character sheets and whatnot.
I get a class feat and a
make
skill
sure
feat.
everything is correct.
I actually don't know how to level up on here on Roll20.
Well, let's see here. Let me go.
Do I need to edit the?
See, I'm thinking because Fuzzy was talking about being able to take a dedication. I'm not intelligent enough to be able to take alchemist dedication. So I'm thinking I might do.
I don't see a character mancer.
So I guess I just manually.
Pathfinder.
I guess I manually.
Yeah. So it looks like you manually now you can go to that Path Builder app. That we used early on to make the character. You should be able to still bring up June in that, and then just go down to second level, and it'll walk you through all the bits. But generally speaking, what happens? Everybody gets their hit points for their class, which is whatever the hit point number is plus your con modifier. So there's no rolling the hit points. You just get
more.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Everybody should get a feat of some variety, which is usually like a class or a skill feat. This is the first time that you have the option to take a dedication feat, which is where you can then start adding on abilities from a second class.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you wanted to add on fighter to your current stuff, you would take fighter dedication. If you wanted to add on cleric, you take cleric dedication, that sort of thing.
Interesting.
So you can start making, basically this is another really start customizing how your character functions mechanically.
Ooh. This is about to be okay. How many of you guys play Dead by Daylight?
No, I haven't.
I played it once.
No? Alright. And I bring it up because there's a new character in there that's like a cowboy dude with a dog.
Uh-huh.
So I just bring it up because I can take a dedication feat called Familiar Master. So I could turn Brick from my Onyx dog little dude, because it says once you take this feat, you gain a familiar, or if you already have a familiar, you gain the enhanced familiar feat.
Huh.
Which means I might be able to turn Brick into an actual dog.
Oh.
Before you pull the trigger on that, let me.
Yeah, check it over before I pull the trigger on that, because I don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and do my skill feat.
So, okay.
I forgot Syrup was here.
Yeah, I've been here.
Same
well, Callie hasn't really had much to do in this last little bit. We kind of focused. We were sort of laser focused.
After
Uh,
it didn't save my character.
after we're done with all of this, as we move into essentially the idea is, Fulkard is going to get in contact with you to let you know that he's got a new job, and assuming the party decides that they take up this job, he's got a reward that he's willing to. It is going to be a kind of a big one, and my intended plan is that when you finish up this job for Fulkard, you guys will have accrued another 1,000 XP, so you will then level up to 3rd. And then once you're done with that, Torque was going to then tell you guys that she's done with her town companion that doesn't like coming into town, and essentially ask you guys if you come with her out into the not exactly distant wilderness, and do some wilderness adventure.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It almost feel like out of this whole thing, when it literally comes down to it, June is definitely probably going to end up being the low-key leader of the group.
Yeah.
Because of her.
Well,
that also reminds me. I gotta let Vandal know that I completed his job for him, and that
once you get back to the Cat's Eye and the Kobold, very easy. Give him the download on that. Okay, so let's see. So everybody levels up. So give some to what you want to do for your level up. You can just straight level up. You don't have to be. If you want to take a dedication and start adding on a different, classes abilities to your character, I'm cool with that. Fucking go wild. I am down for you to just
I have
shit at
only
me.
one thing to say, Fuzzy. You wonder what that is? Chrono Skimmer dedication.
I hear. Oh my god, I'm getting like war flashbacks, and I hear Chrono. Just. That's a big old can of worms to open.
It is.
You know what? I'm gonna take this skill feat called Predict Weather.
I mean, useful.
I will be
positive.
It's gonna rain.
That reminds me of like that picture, like what weather predicting rock is. Like if the rock is wet, it's raining. If the rock is spinning, it's windy. If the rock is white, it's like snowing.
If the rock is gone, it's okay. Let me, however, though, again, pull any triggers. Let me look up familiars and get the rules on familiars. Let's see here. They are familiar originals, although
they are what now?
They're originally animals, most of them. Although through the ritual of becoming a familiar makes them beyond animal, you usually choose a tiny animal as your bat, cat, raven, or snake. A guard dog is much larger than that. Some familiars, however, are described that grants you. Let's see here. A familiars have the minion trait. So during an encounter, they gain 2 actions in a round. To command them, you spend an action, actually transfer one of them to do 2 actions. If your familiar dies, you can spend of downtime to replace it at no cost. Yada yada yada.
If that doesn't seem like something Tim can do, then I can just go munitions crafter, which is literally the only reason I was going for alchemist, because I can make bullets and bombs.
Okay.
But
Let me
keep checking in with that familiar because I do like my dog Brick.
Okay, so there's one other because I wonder, is there an Eidolon dedication? It sounds like there would be.
Damn, I'm torn between two.
I know, that's the problem. It's like,
I'm
what do I
torn
choose?
between Alchemist dedication or where was it? The Clockwork Reanimator dedication.
Ooh.
Which basically means I can
Reanimator.
I can turn corpses into little minions of mine. Which seems very weird, but cool as fuck.
Okay, there is a dedication, and Summoner gives you a Eidolon, and I believe that could make Brick your Eidolon. I think.
I'm gonna end the
Don't
stream,
quote
guys.
me on that because I'd have to read.
Thank you all for being
I
here.
could even
See you later. We're going to
yeah,
go
I could even
raid,
explain it as like
raid
Tim like takes the little
Astral
Onyx dog and like puts it into his core,
There
like
we
his
go.
automaton core, so he can produce like a semi-physical
there's a raid
hologram of
message.
Brick
There we
at
go.
all times.
It's a hard.
Thank you everybody for being here for the
Exactly, it's a
it
hard
was, I'm sorry I had the
construct.
microphone muted for
Okay, so
but, thank you for being here.
you gain
I appreciate
an
you all.
Eidolon
And
as
this was a
well
great
as
game. Have a lovely time, everybody.
due to the tenuous
Bye-bye.
link.
Oh,
Can't use
and
Tandem.
shout out to all the amazing
All right,
players
that's
and our
fine.
DM Fuzzy.
Because you don't have act together.
Okay. I'll see y'all
Exploration
hopefully
activity
tomorrow
at one time. So, for
Good night.
instance, you can't
Bye-bye.
both be searching